Hello everyone. Welcome along into the Sporty Show. I'm your host, as always, Sara. We have some midweek, La Liga and Premier League action going on. Serie A, Coppa Italia, all of it happening this week ahead of a very busy weekend. So to help me dive in, it's the one and only Mr. KlintonCod.
Yes, the one and only KlintonCod and the one and only Sara Ashmore.
Excuse me?
Oh, sorry. Oh. God, no. Yeah, you're Alex right, Ashmore. Mate. Yeah. I mean, I don't.
Do you need to lie down?
I don't know, this is probably a malaria in Spain.
Malaria?
Jeez.
I don't know. Damn, man.
Anyway,
Sarah Ashmore.
Good to be here. And it's not just the three of us, Shantelle, as well.
Yes.
You're really repping Sporty today.
Yes, so not in my little corner. I'm joining you guys on set today, doing socials. I'm happy to be here.
Shantelle, I think you have to move your laptop down so everyone can see the Sporty emblem on your sweater. Because then, see, Alex was referencing, that's what Alex was referencing. Yes, and I think we will have Gary L. Smith joining us a little bit later. But here's what's coming up on Sporty TV this week. And guys, it's really good. As mentioned later today, it's Valencia and Espanyol in La Liga, as well as Quito versus Flamengo in the Copa Libertadores. We have Olympiacos and Real Madrid in the EuroLeague basketball. Shantelle, are you excited for that one?
Can you imagine? I am actually. It's going to be a great quarterfinals, and I can't wait.
I love to hear it. More Libertadores action, Olimpia versus Peñarol, as well as Independiente versus River Plate, Club Bruges taking on Gillois, Bolivar versus Palmeiras, Kashima versus Nagoya, Beijing Guan versus Henan, Cádiz and Sporting Gijón in La Liga Hypermotion, and San Lorenzo versus Rosario Central later on in Argentina. We also have Kashiwa versus Niigata, Newcastle versus Western Sydney, QPR versus Burnley, and big up to Burnley, who are headed back to the Premier League next season. Brighton versus West Ham in the Premier League this week, and in the Bundesliga, it's Frankfurt versus Leipzig, and we do have it, the Copa del Rey final in Sevilla, where KlintonCod and I will be. Real Madrid taking on Barcelona right here on Sporty TV. We have Western United versus Sydney FC, River versus Boca, Western United versus Sydney, and River. Oh, it's written twice. It's so good that it's written twice. The Super Clásico in the capital, Buenos Aires, will be happening this weekend. And guys, I just wanted to talk to you about that one quickly, because this is the biggest derby in football. River Plate versus Boca Juniors. It is bigger than El Clásico. It is bigger than the Manchester derby. It's incredible.
Totally disagree, though.
And you don't have to agree. Facts are facts, my friend.
But then again, I would love to find out why you think.
No, it's not what I think. It's Alex. You want to help me? out in this one?
No. I don't want Alex to help you. I want to hear from you.
No, because it's factually known as the biggest rivalry in football today.
Fiercest may be the best word to use.
No, biggest.
Because I would argue that Real Madrid and Barcelona has probably watched more around the world.
I mean, I think that is the biggest, in my opinion. I've never, listen, let's be, sometimes I understand that these things may...
Just because you don't watch...
No, it's not about just because. When you say factual, is it like, who said it? Or where did you get that from?
In terms of viewership, it's had the most viewers outside of World Cups. 1.15 million viewers in the Copa Libertadores 2018 final between these two.
Okay, hang on. Okay. Because you've just mentioned 2018.
Yeah.
Right? Are you speaking based on that one record, or are you speaking based on consistency?
I'm speaking based on...
I have it.
Okay, let's hear from you.
So, this is... I've seen a few different alternatives to this one, but this is the most recent one I've found, updated on the 12th of April, so just 10 days ago. The biggest derby, according to this website, is Boca Juniors versus River Plate. Second, have a guess.
Manchester, Man City?
Oh, Celtic and Rangers. Yeah,
Celtic, Rangers,
the old firm.
Barcelona, Real Madrid in third, and then Partizan Belgrade against Red Star Belgrade.
But hang on. Let me ask this question though. So are these based on how many people had viewed this game?
This is the big argument, because I think, in terms of, obviously I don't have the facts of viewing numbers around the world, but I would want to guess that El Clásico is the one that's You go to anywhere in Africa, in
Well,
Asia,
that's
Australia,
literally the reason why I was mentioning
South
it, because
America,
fact is,
the States.
and this is not me trying to disrespect what happens in South America or wherever, you know, River Plate and Boca Juniors, you know, they play. But how many? Listen, we can put up a call of, let's say, 10 people from Europe, 10 people from Africa, and say who is, or give me 6 players from River Plate.
I think.
In fact, you know what? Shantelle, who is the most popular player in River Plate?
Why are you asking me?
I mean, as a neutral.
No, why are you asking me?
Or who's
Because
the goalkeeper for Boca Juniors?
wait, hold on, because you're going off and what?
I'm not expecting you to know, though. I'm not expecting you to know. I'm not expecting
Wait,
you to know.
hold on, Clinton.
Okay.
But you're going off on a tangent, right?
No,
Saying that,
see,
wait, hold
she's
on,
already seen it
hold
like a
on.
fight already.
No,
I'm
no,
not
but
This game,
Clinton.
please. No. Right, wait.
Because you're
Shantelle,
saying there's 10
Shantelle.
persons in Africa, 10 persons in Europe. So wait, Africa and Europe is the whole world?
No, wait, hold on. I was going to come to Jamaica as well. You know, it's just about time. You see, you don't have patience,
Africa,
right?
Europe, and Jamaica. That is the whole world.
Sorry? Right, hold on.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Technical difficulties on the set already. Well, nevertheless, ladies.
We have not finished yet. I'm hoping they're able to hear me because
I
we
don't think
need
they can. You know what?
No,
Just
but the
plug
thing is
yourself back.
that the
Hang on.
factors that you're basing it on, you can't use it to support you saying that because 10 persons in Africa or 10 persons in Europe can't name it doesn't make it the biggest rivalry or whatever.
No. So are you now supporting me though?
What?
I don't understand. I mean, help me.
I don't
I
agree with what
think-
you're saying.
So what do you not agree? What do you not agree with?
I'm not agreeing just because 10 persons in Africa or 10 persons in Europe can't name players or doesn't acknowledge that it's big doesn't mean that it's not the fiercest or a big rivalry.
That's not what I'm saying. Listen, we've just spoken about the viewership, right? So truly, it could have been the most viewed, right? You know,
Then why do you think it's not great then? Why it's not the likes, not the same likes of a Real Madrid versus a Barcelona?
No, because we all know Real Madrid and Barcelona, right? These are two, like Alex, you were just making a statement, right? You said, you know, there's no part of the world where you would mention these two clubs that people would not be able to reconcile.
I think that's the big difference. Yes, the Super Classico between Boca and River is massive.
Of course.
To be honest, I think it would be fair to say it's the fiercest derby in world football in terms of the passion and the. Unfortunately, we've seen some violence at those games.
How many times have you watched that derby?
Quite a few times. You watched it when they played in Madrid back in, was it 2019 or 18, where they had the Copa Libertadores final?
2018.
Because I was living here in Madrid at the time. It's always one of those games where you see there was even an incident. There's been incidents of fans getting killed.
Who's the most popular player in River Plate?
Castaño.
Oh wait, no, Sara. I know because you're a very huge fan of South America, right? So don't worry. Just relax.
Some of your old United players playing that derby.
Right.
Marcos Rojo, Edison Cavani.
No. I'm not talking about the derby now, right? Let's speak about what.
No, but I'm coming on to support your point. So I think it is probably, and this is just my point of view, I'm not saying it's factual, it's the fiercest derby in football. The unfortunate violence we've seen at this game, the passion that both sets of fans show, they're not allowed away fans, I think still. Is that the case, Sara? Am I right in saying they're not allowed away fans?
I don't know if that's 100%, but since that incident
because
in
it's
the 70s,
been, and it is, without a shadow of a doubt, for me, the fiercest derby in football in terms of the levels of passion that it reaches. But you go outside of South America, the number of people that watch it, I think, is a lot less than the number of people that watch El Clasico around the world.
So you see, the reason why I'm having to debate this stuff is the fact that, just looking from the mindset of a neutral, right? There are teams that play and it kind of rings, not just an ordinary bell, but it rings the kind of bell that they ring when, for example, when the Pope is gone and they need to let everybody go. It's like that massive, right? And, River Plate, I don't know if I can, maybe it's popular in that geographical location of the world, right? It's like really, really massive. But when you look at a Real Madrid versus a Barcelona, right? This one breaks every boundaries. Like, it doesn't matter which part. So I could imagine people in Mexico or some people in Uruguay, they are watching. No, I mean.
No, but I would imagine people in Mexico and Uruguay also.
No. But listen, no, but that's not the comparison. I was now going to say, right? Now imagine people from Kenya watching River Plate.
I think that's where that's probably where I would say in terms of worldwide viewership. I don't have the figures. El Clasico surely is bigger because
So this stats that you've just mentioned, is it based off on some particular geographical location? Is this worldwide?
what's that?
Like I'm talking about the fact that that is the most viewed, you know.
This was just a website that I pulled up that said it was the biggest derby. It didn't quantify viewers. It didn't quantify, passion or anything like that. I think it was just saying.
Quantifying passion. How do you do that?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
It didn't quantify. It didn't have any numbers or backing to it. It just said this is
it just said
the
so.
biggest
So
derby.
of course, so it just means that there is still an argument.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really specify to say this is the.
And that list as well, I disagree with it because there's no way that the Old Firm derby is bigger than El Clasico.
Well,
around
exactly.
the world.
Yeah, which is why I had to. Sorry, and Sarah, I know you were heading at something, and then I had to cut you off because I thought there is no way. The biggest derby that anybody or football fans worldwide will speak about is a derby that is coming from clubs like Boca Juniors and River Plate. When you have come on, I mean,
The disrespect that you just gave that was insane, and I'm sorry to all of you that
but it's
actually
true,
know
though.
about football.
No, but listen,
Clinton, it's okay that you don't watch it, but the way that you swept it under the
No,
rug.
I didn't sweep it, Sarah.
You did sweep it, and it's okay.
I didn't. But Sarah, listen, I understand your point of view, right? Because this is the part of football that I feel like you have more of your concentration on, right? So, for
I would
example,
say El Clasico probably is considering my team place in that one.
No. I mean, but I see your passion. When it comes to these South American teams, right? I've never seen anybody who loves football to the point where they can speak so much about this South America apart from Sara. She has. So I would think that she's having some kind of bias because of the fact that she has.
Well, Alex also
mindset.
just read the stats.
No. But the reason I'm turning to Alex is because I would not see Alex as the biased guy. I see him as a middleman, and especially
No, unless
knowing
we're talking about England and Real Madrid.
Sorry.
Unless we're talking about England or Real Madrid.
I think
maybe England, but maybe I would not give him Real Madrid.
I think it's, and this is my opinion, the biggest
Look at the
derby
Bombonera. A
in
stadium that is known to shake because of how loud the fans get. On the bucket list, by the way. On the bucket list.
Yeah, sorry, Alex, you were saying something.
Isn't this Rivers Stadium?
No, that's the Bombonera.
That's not
It's
River Stadium.
yellow.
Clearly, there's no water there, man.
Look at that. That's not Mas Monumental. They wouldn't be allowed to do that.
Anyway,
I still feel like nothing comes close to the El Clasico.
no, I don't think anything does.
Definitely nothing.
All right, well, Clinton's picking violence today, and Shantelle already had a dig at you, and Alex is sitting in between the...
Clinton is speaking facts, though. Clinton is saying
You
real
can't speak
stuff.
about something that you don't know, though.
No, it's not about I don't know.
Because I like that Shantelle was like, don't come for me.
No, I'm not
'cause
coming.
I appreciate that.
No. The problem is if I said good morning to Shantelle, Shantelle thinks I'm coming at her.
That's
Let's
not
move
true.
right
That's
along.
not
Alex,
true.
very
That is
understandable.
not
Alex,
true.
So
That is not
I
true.
get it.
That is not
And you
true.
see, there's a reason why they put
Clinton,
Shantelle
God
there
is
and they put
watching.
Alex next
God
to me
is
because
watching.
they pretty much
He
know
will
what's
strike
capable
you,
of
Clinton.
happening.
Stop lying.
No,
Stop
I mean,
lying.
now, if God was going to strike me, he
You're
would have done it
lying.
ages ago. But listen, Sarah, I understand that you might not agree with the fact that El Clasico is the biggest, but everybody knows. And if we were to put a poll right now on our social media, every single human being knows that nothing comes close to the El Clasico. As a matter of fact, right? There
It's
is
how you
another
phrased
derby.
it, Clinton.
There is another derby.
It's how you phrased it. It came off disrespectful, and as
Oh,
Sara
no,
said,
what
like
is
you were
disrespectful?
just
No.
pushing it on the
Okay,
rug.
you tell
when,
me.
When you
Okay,
said
you
that,
tell
oh,
me.
if-
Tell me,
if-
how did I
if
disrespect it?
No, because you basically shoved it on the rug, saying,
How
oh,
did I?
can I explain?
Okay, please explain. All right, go on.
When you're saying that, oh, give me 10 persons in Europe or 10 persons in Africa, it just seems as if, like, if those persons don't watch the sport, then it can't be considered as big or great.
Of
Or that's how it
course,
came
because
off.
football is global. Like, if you're
Yeah,
telling me
but
that...
you
that
literally
I just
named
mentioned...
two
No. I
places.
mentioned... No, I didn't just mention 2 places, though. I mentioned 2 places, right, that is crowded, full of extreme lovers of football. I didn't just mention some island in Jamaica where they...
Okay,
do
too far.
All right.
Sarah, back to the show.
All right.
far.
Well, that's how we're starting off today. Let's move right along to La Liga, shall we? Because the one and only, the goat of La Liga, his name is Anthony, and he scored yet again last night with Betis beating Girona 3-1. Guys, 3 goals, 2 assists in 11 matches. He continues to perform for this Andalusian side, and it's great to see. Clinton, you always speak highly of how it makes you happy seeing Anthony leaving Manchester United to kind of we always say remove the shackles.
No, of course.
And he's continuing. I mean, 5 goal contributions in 11 matches with a completely new side. It shows a lot. January transfers are hard.
No, 100%. I'm really proud of the young man. And honestly, I think if in any time during this short period of him shining, they tell him that he's going back to Manchester United, if he refuses or he says, you know what, I don't care what just terminate everything, I will not be surprised. I feel like if he's shining to the point where he is currently, what would be any reason for him to go back? I understand that they might say, right, now that you are pretty much back with your confidence and, maybe come back to the club. But listen, no, I don't think, I think he's now gone past Manchester United. He's done what he's not done nothing there, but he's done what he could do. It didn't work for him. He's gone to a club where everything seems to be working for him. The club, they love him. His teammates, they love him. The fans love him like crazy. Even non-fans love him as well. He might as well just continue there, man. I'm really happy for him.
Alex, do you reckon that Anthony will stay at Betis if he can?
I don't. I think Betis will struggle to keep hold of him. I don't think he'll stay at United, but I don't think he'll stay at Betis either. I think some club will come along for him in the summer. Who's to say that isn't someone like Atletico Madrid, or you look at Serie A, or you look at the Bundesliga? I think it all depends on whether he fits into Ruben Amorim's plans, and I don't think he does. I don't think Betis will be able to keep hold of him. I know he's got a loan deal until the end of the season, but I feel like, and this is with no disrespect to Betis, he can play at a higher level than Real Betis. I think, yes, he's not been the best player in the world at United, and he's shown that he's been quite disappointing since he joined there from Ajax. But I think when you look at the level that he's playing at and how well he's doing, I think if you put him in a team like Atletico Madrid, or if you put him in a team like AC Milan even, I think he would thrive in a team like that.
Fair enough. Well, Betis in 6th now, holding on to that Europa League position. I don't know if we actually spoke about it on the show, but La Liga is officially given that 5th position for a team to qualify in the Champions League as well, just like the Premier League. So we will see another Spanish team and another English team joining next year's Champions League. All right, tonight, though, Espanyol taking on Valencia, as well as Barcelona in action against Mallorca. And Shantelle, if I could come to you, because I did see a comment regarding, in our YouTube, regarding one from Guillaume, actually, because I know that one was directed right towards me.
I literally thought you were going to go to what people thought was the second biggest derby before they start speaking about the one in South America.
No. I want.
To be honest, Manchester United, Manchester City is still bigger than Boca Juniors and River Plate.
Okay, do you feel?
Oh yes, it's not. This is not an argument. This is facts.
It's better if you don't argue it. If you ignore it, it'll just
listen. This is facts.
Bigger in what sense? Do you think more people watch it?
Of course. Yes. No. Listen. This is what I think.
Clinton thinks increasing the volume of his voice
That's your business.
increases his logic.
That is your business.
Because just because you're loud doesn't mean
But
you're
why
right
don't you
right
increase
now.
your own volume as well, though?
It's not an unridiculous.
we don't need-
It's not an unrealistic thing to say.
unridiculous.
Unridiculous.
No, but
It's
for
not
real,
a
though.
ridiculous thing to say. I think the numbers would be similar, because I know there's millions of people in South America that watch the Super Classico over Man United and Liverpool. Maybe Man United and Liverpool might be bigger in terms of viewership numbers around the world. Because if you think of Asia, the number of fans in Asia that support Man United and Liverpool, Africa as well, I think the biggest thing that comes down to it for me, especially with teams like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Chelsea, whoever it is, Arsenal. In Asia, there are India as well. There's probably close to 1 billion Premier League football fans around the world, in that part of the world.
Of course.
So
of course.
I think in terms of numbers, that's where I think those games would pip. Boca Juniors versus River.
No, but listen, when we're speaking here, though, are we not speaking about numbers? For me, it's based on popularity, right?
It is the
River Plate and Boca Juniors, I'm not saying they're not popular, but they are popular within their zones. These other ones we are talking about, they are popular globally. So now, you just mentioned it, there's going to be a lot of Africans, Europeans, even Americans,
Asians,
Indian, India, even China, Japan. No, for real though, who are all watching both the El Clasico, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool. But the question there, because sometimes I'm making these things, and because because I'm not going the other way that some of our panelists here want me to go, it feels like I'm just talking. But this is fact. we're not gonna just downplay the kind of football going on in Europe to a region where it's more popular among the people who are, like how many times do you stay awake waiting a game, watching it? Sara, who is even in love with South America, she wakes up the next morning to go watch the game. She doesn't stay awake unless it's a Copa America final or something.
No,
right?
That depends on the game. I stay awake sometimes.
No,
it's always on in my house.
No, but you see, I love the fact that you said sometimes.
Yeah, for sure, because I also have a job. Unfortunately, I have to work. I have to be here with you guys. If I'm watching all the Copa Libertadores, I would be here. My eyes would be here. I had bags. Like it would be a situation. It would be a situation. Shantelle, I was trying to ask you about a comment.
Yeah, I know.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
But thank you for finally coming back to me, Sarah. So we had a few
Manchester
comments.
City versus Manchester United. They are still bigger than Boca Juniors and River Plate. All right.
Do you want to take it away and just get the comments rolling? Okay, so someone said El Clasico remains the biggest derby in football. Take it or leave it.
Facts.
Abduli, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Manchester derby is the best. Liverpool versus Manchester United is better than the Manchester derby. So we had a few persons just giving their takes.
Not giving their takes, supporting what I said. I mean, and I know your pride is just not letting you agree that this is fact I'm stating. But I understand, though. I understand
no, but you
where
still
you guys
missed
are
my
coming.
point. I just didn't like how you raised your point.
Right, okay. So you want me to, okay, right. So I should express the point in a different way.
No, just don't. It seems as if you're being
Just express your
disrespectful.
point.
It seemed a bit disrespectful, like you're just shoving it under a man. Like, it's
But I
weird.
didn't. That's the thing. I only just said the truth. And the truth became a problem.
Okay.
That's literally what it is.
I was looking to Guillaume, who said, "Come on, Ontario Lion, do something." Obviously referencing Kyle Larin, who plays for Mallorca and will be facing Barcelona tonight. Alex, Barcelona in action tonight. Real Madrid in action tomorrow. Atletico in action on Thursday. Lots of football coming up. Obviously, we have to take a look here at Barcelona because they have a very big match this weekend against Real Madrid. The news is that Alejandro Balde is training with the team, which is good news for Barcelona. But will he be there on Saturday? I'm doubtful. But it's good to see the youngster returning. We saw the game against Celta over the weekend. A lot of excitement. Barcelona going down, coming back. Now they take on Mallorca, and Mallorca have been pretty poor this season considering, and they're on a bit...
Well, for them, they're chasing. They could end up in a Europa League spot.
But they've fallen a lot, I think.
No,
I think
that was
been a lot
to be
better.
expected. I think a team like Mallorca with the players that they have, and this is no disrespect to Mallorca.
Yeah.
They're a well-run club. Let's not forget, not too long ago, they're in the third tier of Spanish football. They got that double promotion back to La Liga. And when you look at the budget that they're on and the players that they have and the money that they can spend and afford to spend, I think they've done a fantastic job to finish, to be seventh with, what, 5,
Yes,
6
but they
games
could
to
be
go?
a lot higher. Okay, first of all, they got knocked out of the Copa del Rey round of 32 to Ponteverde. Then they lose to Real Madrid. They lose to Villarreal. They lose to Betis. They lose to Atleti. They tie Osasuna. They tie to Sevilla. They tie to Alaves. Tying Alaves is not something you can be doing if you're Mallorca.
These are all very good teams that you've mentioned, yes.
Alaves?
No,
Nice.
the teams at the beginning, you mentioned Atleti, you mentioned Real Madrid, you mentioned Barcelona. These are teams...
Leganés did a pretty good job against them, and they're sitting in 19th place.
They've maybe...
Well, let's not pretend that we don't see the little teams give the big teams a problem.
No,
But
in
I think
form,
I think this is some insinuation that I feel like we should even start changing now, right? These small teams, they give these big teams severe headache. But who goes with the points eventually? I think that is.
I mean, Leganés beat Barcelona and Atleti, so they went with the point.
No, of course, absolutely, yeah. But when you are very right. But then again, like he said, where are they after beating these teams?
I think the thing is, my point is, I think that they could be a bit higher considering some of the drops that they had, some of the injuries and suspensions.
But still, to be where they are, yes, they can always be higher. I think you're going to lose games. This is the beauty of football. But if you look at the way that they've played, and I'm sure Mallorca fans would say, yes, I feel like with our start we could have been 5th or maybe even 4th. But to be 7th for a club like Mallorca, who aren't a big club, they were not too long ago, like I said, in the third tier of Spanish football, to potentially be within touching distance well, if they finish where they are now, they will be in the Europa League next season, which is an unbelievable achievement.
I mean, I think we could have said they might have been in the Champions League, though. That was my whole point. We've seen them
Would
lose
they have
games.
finished above Athletic Club and Villarreal, though?
Well, if they had won those games, then we would be talking about that.
But if Real Madrid have won all of their games, they would be top of the league.
100%.
I think if everybody had won all their games,
that's
of the league, though.
Yeah, well, that's not possible.
That's an absolute
exactly.
fact.
Exactly.
But I feel like the job that they've done deserves a lot of credit.
Okay, so how do you see them lining up against Barcelona tonight?
I think it will be, obviously they're away, so that makes it a little bit more difficult. And the way that we know Barcelona play at home, not just at home, away from home as well, and the way that they've been playing in the league and across all competitions this year in 2025, it's probably a good time, if any, to play Barcelona, given the congested fixture list that they've had and important games that they have coming up with the Copa del Rey final on Saturday. Obviously, 2 huge games against Inter Milan in the semi-final of the Champions League. I'm leaning ever so slightly towards a draw in this game.
Even without Mudiki?
I think, yes, they'll struggle, and we've seen them struggle for goals. Obviously, they drew 0-0 with Leganés last weekend, but defensively, they've been fairly solid this season. I think I wouldn't be surprised if this one ends like a 0-0 or a 1-1.
Shantelle, what do you think about this one with the likes of Barcelona and Mallorca and Barcelona having one eye on the weekend as well?
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
You're fine. Don't worry. Clinton, let me throw it to you.
Sorry, what was your question?
Okay. Well, should I call my producer? Do you want, should I?
No, by the way, okay.
Me
No,
or
Barcelona,
Who's gonna-
Mallorca. What do you see happening? What voices are talking to you today?
No, but just before we come on that one, to be honest, I was listening, but I wanted Shantelle to please make sure there's something I would hope that you read out eventually. But
Oh, there's one for me too. I want that one.
yeah.
Where? From Facebook? Or because I have one
YouTube.
from Facebook.
Oh, please don't do the Facebook one. Do the one on YouTube. Right, okay. Now, no, listen. I think this is going to be an easy one for Barcelona. I understand they've got the injuries. Mallorca pretty much on form, 7th in the league table currently, and is it 7th or 8th?
7.
7th, right? And I mean, it just shows that there is some level of
Sorry. Last YouTube comment right for Shantelle. I love this one.
I think we need to ban whoever owns that account.
I love it.
But yeah, like I said, I think it's going to. There are some games you see and you kind of feel scared that okay, maybe this is a team that's going to make Barcelona lose point or whatever. Like you said, Barcelona are currently playing at home. Couple of injuries in the team, but it still doesn't reduce the quality of play that's able to match a Mallorca. But I think there's no point of me speaking too much grammar. I think it's an easy win for Barcelona, honestly.
Shantelle, do you want to read some of the comments?
I'm still gathering.
All right, you gather the
Because
intel.
we have so much coming in.
Oh, goodness gracious. That's scary. All right, let's welcome to the show all the way from Accra and Sporty FM, our very own Gary Al Smith is joining us. Hello, Gary.
Hi
You look like you're going on holiday, my friend.
Exactly. I'm just from holiday. It's been a long holiday weekend, hasn't it?
They are the ones enjoying
I'm
life
still in the
now.
mood.
You look how happy
I'm
he
still
is.
in the mood.
Yeah.
From Thursday to Tuesday.
To Thursday.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on holiday. He had a good week last week. Arsenal had a good weekend against Ipswich Town. Gary is all smiles today.
And you can that's the good thing about Africa. The way they live life there and the way life is just so sweet. You can tell that there's nothing like depression. There's nothing like, you want to be happy. Next minute, the rain starts falling from nowhere. Like all this kind of, and then the rain stops. By the time you walk out, you start seeing some kind of, snow dropping down from. Like there's just something that's, I don't know. But it's very evident. Gary is living the life, man.
Looks like Clinton's a little envious of you, Gary.
Of course, because I come from that zone, man, and I know what I'm missing.
Well,
Clinton, you should come home soon.
No, for real, man. Honestly, I just wish that
man.
there's a man in the control room that would just not let it happen.
you want to say his name?
No, I don't. But I just know that he's a member of some drug cartel.
Oh my God!
I mean, he knows I'm not serious.
I think he's not in the control room.
Oh, thank God, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God.
Hi, guys.
All right, Gary,
Hi,
we
guys.
were just talking a little about Barcelona in action tonight
Barcelona,
against Mallorca. You were hearing that. How do you see this one lining up? I don't know if you saw the weekend's match, but it was quite the spectacle. Barcelona clawing their way back against Celta, and their next match, as we all know, is against Real Madrid in the final.
Yeah. I'm thinking, you know, I'll take you to something that I saw even on social media where people have started saying things like, why did Hansi Flick not get his first proper senior coaching job till he was 55 years? You know, and that the world has been robbed of some real tactical genius at this level with, you know, he was an assistant for a very long time. And I didn't know this actually, that actually the reason why he couldn't take a top level job, sort of like a senior head coach role, was partly apparently because of his wife as well. His wife was ill for a while and stuff. And so he elected to, you know, take a lesser role for many years in order to be able to have more time to take care of her. So I'm like, oh.
It's very sweet.
Yeah, so sweet. But yeah, and you know, it never occurred to me. But if you see the video of the 2014 World Cup, when Brazil demolished everybody, Hansi Flick was the assistant, right? To Jogi Löw for a very long time. And so he's somebody who has learned his craft. And so maybe we shouldn't be too surprised at how good he was in his various jobs and how he's been for Barcelona. Which brings me to tonight's game. I mean, after giving him all these accolades, surely it is not Mallorca that is going to soil his.
Was once Leganes. So listen, I just think we are at that point of the season now where every game is important. And every game is also kind of up in the air. You know, we saw Inter drop points this weekend. Real Madrid and Barça winning in the final moments. We saw Newcastle get absolutely slaughtered by Aston Villa. It's the end of the year where I feel like all bets are off because, you know, teams are picking up injuries. The players are so exhausted. You can see it in the way they play. Every team is being hit right now. So I do think that gives these teams that maybe aren't competing in Europe still or are really, you know, trying to make a push like Mallorca to that Champions League, Europa League contention, that this is the time where we see these blips, if you will.
Yeah, true. And it's not too surprising because while getting ready for the show, I was listening to the news. It's midday here, and I was listening to the sports news at 12, and I heard Pep Guardiola say every game for most teams in Europe's top 2 or top 3 or chasing Champions League spots, from now till the end of the campaign, every game is like a Champions League final or should be like a World Cup final. So, yeah, I suppose it's the same for teams like Real Madrid and Barcelona and Man City and Bayern Munich, maybe. Yeah. PSG have already won the Champions League final in France.
Very boring.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that, actually. We will get to that. But in regards to what you said about the Champions League, I do think it's great that Barça are taking on Inter because both teams are still fighting for the treble. Inter dropped points over the weekend. That makes everything really interesting. So both teams have everything on the line. Maybe a little bit more evenly matched than PSG and Arsenal, which we will get to. We will get to. We will
eventually.
Get to eventually. All right. Well, so we'll see what happens between Barcelona and Mallorca this evening. But Clinton, you were at the Real Madrid game over the weekend against Bilbao, and you actually spoke to some fans because last week there was a lot of news and speculation regarding Mr. Carlo Ancelotti. And you spoke to them about whether or not they wanted him to stay, but also who would replace him?
Absolutely.
Well, let's take a look at that video.
Ancelotti should go or stay? Go. It's time to go.
Stay because he is a good trainer, so he has to support the team till the end.
I think Ancelotti have lots of credit.
I think Ancelotti has been a great person in Real Madrid. Probably he's finishing his era in Real Madrid.
If he lose this game, I think he will leave.
No, because for me, Ancelotti is a very good trainer.
If Ancelotti goes, which person or which coach would you want to come take over Real Madrid?
I think Jurgen Klopp would be a really nice addition to Real Madrid. If he had to go, get Klopp in. Get Klopp in.
Well, I think Xabi Alonso is a great coach for the future.
Maybe we're thinking about Jurgen Klopp. Maybe he will come here.
All right, Clinton. So a lot of eyes looking at Jurgen Klopp as we spoke about this last week. We saw some for Xabi Alonso, which I feel like more of the desk agreed with maybe isn't the best idea. But your overall feeling was that the majority of fans wanted Carlo out?
Yep. No, definitely. Yeah. When I spoke to them, I mean, I think there was some kind of mixed feelings because some of them kind of felt like, hang on, this man is, led us through to this number of cups or trophies, whatever, with the club, and he might be having some kind of bad patch with the club currently, but it doesn't mean he should be going. He still has it in him. Me personally, I feel like he's outgrown I don't know if I'll say he's outgrown the club or the club has outgrown him, but his time is definitely expired now, and I think it's time for him to maybe go find some other kind of challenge, like, go to a club that's not maybe as massive as Real Madrid, where that's going to stress him mentally,
or
physically, or even a country. Actually, exactly, that's a very good idea as well. But quite a few of them, they didn't just say no Ancelotti out, and that's the good thing about Real Madrid fans. They are not the kind of fans. Of course, the team, they are still second in the league. Yeah, they dropped out of the Champions League. There's Copa del Rey final that they need to play. So they are still a kind of polite when it comes to how they address the manager. There's still that level of respect where they say, listen, we appreciate everything he's done. He's one of the best coaches that we would have ever had in the club. But maybe it's time for him to go. And if he goes, who is the next person in line? I was quite shocked to not hear a lot of people mention the Xabi Alonso that we've always spoken about, knowing that maybe Real Madrid is that club that he might wish to want to take over. But then again, a lot of them continue speaking about Jurgen Klopp, whom I would also endorse. I feel like he is the right person to be taking over this kind of work that Real Madrid currently has. Because people look at Real Madrid, they think it's just a football club. When you look at that team, when you look at the deficiencies or what is not currently working for the club right now, it's Jurgen Klopp that I see being able to manage it. Xabi Alonso still feels like, he's not yet the caliber of, or the manner of that person that would be carrying a club as huge as Real Madrid. Of course, you might say, but how about the likes of Vincent Kompany, who from nowhere, he relegated a team and then the next job was with a Bayern,
one of the most successful teams in history.
Yeah, but then again, we can also still say, hang on, when you look at that German side, what's the challenge that, like I said, I could manage Bayern Munich and I would win as equal games as Vincent Kompany on a good day. I could manage a PSG, but when you come to Spain, the ball game is different. You have a whole lots of teams. You have Barcelona, you have Atletico, you have Bilbao, you have all these other little ones that are still, Villarreal, and the competition is not for a manager that is almost, I would say, somebody that's not fully an amateur. I didn't want to use the word amateur,
right?
But you know what I mean. I'm talking about somebody who
doesn't have as much experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If Real Madrid win the Copa del Rey and the league, does it, to you, still feel like the right decision for Ancelotti to leave?
Absolutely. I still feel like it's time for him to go. Because at that point, if he's winning, he's not winning based on the fact that he's done something magical. He's just doing it based on the fact that even if you, Alex, stood there, you probably would have even made, if Ancelotti won it with 2, you probably would have made a decision that would have given them a 4. Like, I'm not saying, come on, he's won games all through the season. If him winning the Copa del Rey or his way...
No, I'm saying if he wins both. If he wins the league and the cup.
I still feel like it's still time. What does he want to prove with Real Madrid anymore though?
No, it's not more him, because I don't think if Real Madrid don't sack him, I do see a world in which Ancelotti is still the manager next season.
Of course, I mean, because I
don't think he would never leave. Maybe because his contract runs until next summer. And I know he's said this in the past, and I think he said in an interview back in August that this will be his last club job. So
judging from the mindset of a fan, I feel like, for me, he's done his bit. He needs to go. If he wins it, right, and he decides to say, I want to stay, of course, he has something to prove as to the reason why something is now justified why he has to stay. Because why does he have to go? If Real Madrid wins the league, which we don't know how possible that is, of course, there's some level of possibility if Barcelona decides to slip up, right? And Copa del Rey, who knows? They could go there winning it as well. If he decides to say, you know what, hang on, I've just finished this season on a high. Of course, there's no Champions League, but it's had so many Champions League. Of course, why not? I could still to the end of my contract. But if he ends up losing You know, there's nothing from Champions League, nothing from Copa del Rey, nothing from the league, right? At that point, I think it will probably be one of the worst seasons for Real Madrid in I don't know how many years so far, but at least in a good couple of years. There's no way Real Madrid goes this long without having something tangible. If it's not from the Champions League, it's maybe from winning the league title, or at least there's just something that proves that Real Madrid is still the Real Madrid. But this season, imagine a Real Madrid going trophyless. I think that's where you call it a day.
Yeah.
Shantelle, I want to ask you, obviously, being the Liverpool fan that you are, what is your sentiment on Jurgen Klopp coming to Madrid? Obviously, still rumors, it's still speculation, but what would your thoughts be on that?
It's not true. He's not coming to Real Madrid. He says he's tired and he loves his job at Red Bull. So I feel like everybody should just, I don't know why it's even a conversation. It's not happening.
Period.
Period. Period.
Period. You heard it, Gary.
Period.
You heard it. All right. Well,
You know the way Shantelle went about it is the sort of thing that you finish and you say, period.
Mic drop.
with the hand flick. Come on.
Period.
All right, let's talk some Premier League, shall we? Because we saw Spurs lose once again last night to Forest. Big up to Alex's maybe favorite player right now, Chris Wood.
Yeah.
You had a lot to say about him before the cameras turned on.
How good is he?
Yeah,
I mean,
brilliant.
2 good goals. Obviously, the one that got disallowed for offside, and he's such a prowess in the air. And the way he commands those balls that come into the box, the way that he gets on the end of it, it's just, he's a fantastic player. And I think you look at the strikers in the Premier League this season, you look at Erling Haaland, who, yes, has still been very good this season, but quite hasn't been the same prolific 40-goal season striker that we usually know him as. I think, does he deserve a mention for Premier League Player of the Season? Or at least up there in the conversation?
Chris Wood?
Yeah.
In the conversation,
I think it's a bit
maybe.
of a stretch. I think we love to speak about him, but sorry, Gary, I interrupted you.
Premier League Player of the Season has to go to Mo Salah at the end of the day. Everybody knows that. I
Yeah.
don't think there's any kind of
No,
argument.
he says in the conversation. I mean,
In the conversation,
in the
of course, 100%.
in
Come
the
on, man.
but it depends where in the conversation. Are we talking top
That's
three
kind
conversation?
of what I was
Yeah.
referencing. Like,
You know,
where,
top
where,
three
is this a top
conversation,
10?
top five.
No, I don't think top 3. I think top 10.
Top 5, I'd say.
Yeah.
Hold on, you know what? Let's do it now, because that's what we do on the show. Let's do it. Let's mention top 5 in the Premier League strikers now.
Wait, no. Wait, strikers or players? Because that's a different conversation.
players.
But no, if you want to say players, then Chris Wood does not even make it to top 10, in my opinion.
No, because if we're talking about strikers, then it's not Mo Salah either.
No, of course, Mo Salah is not a striker.
No, but that's what so I thought we were talking about players.
Okay, let's talk about players then. Let's do it.
It's Premier League Player of the Season.
Yeah.
So it's all players, it's all positions.
All right, okay. Fair
So
enough.
it's all.
Fair enough.
I mean,
Okay.
I
Let's
think
do it.
Salah, without a doubt, is the best player in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Um,
And actually, I can argue that one too.
who's better?
That's a very good question.
Usually when you say I can argue something, you come
No, the only reason I said I could argue it is only because fact is, listen, and I might be the only one in the world who does not see what is so exceptional about Mo Salah. He scores goals, he's a good winger, but he's not my typical type of player that I want to watch.
But you see,
I want to
Clinton,
stay at
you
home.
make-
I don't-
you
I
make
want-
a
You
very-
say what he does is not
No,
acceptable.
Clinton.
but that's what I'm saying.
No,
Like,
no. But yes, Alex, this is exactly the point about Mo Salah being, and you know, Clinton's view has just encapsulated the problem with Mo Salah. And I hope that one day Mo Salah himself is going to say it in an interview. You know, he's great without being spectacular. Messi is great, he's spectacular.
That's the sentence I could not make.
Ronaldo, R9 was great and spectacular. Ronaldo was great, is great and spectacular. Zinedine Zidane, great and spectacular. And then there was, now let's take any other.
I still think Mo Salah is a spectacular player.
He's not a spectacular.
He is. When you see him,
What does spectacular
I'm
mean?
telling you,
What does
Mo
How
Salah
is he not a
scores.
spectacular player?
Mo Salah scores.
And assist.
Mo Salah
He's got
assists. But I'm
55
telling
goal
you,
involvements this
for me, I don't enjoy watching Mo Salah play.
What do you mean you don't enjoy
Okay, what would he
watching
have to
play?
do differently?
What?
What
No,
do you-
but
how
that's the
can you
thing.
not enjoy watching him play?
For me, let me tell you this, right? When I watch football, I don't. Of course, the goals
Do
get
you
me the point.
enjoy Mo Salah than you enjoy Eden Hazard, Alex?
Well, that's a different conversation, Gary.
Wait, see, no, hold on. But this is what I was gonna say. But this is what I was gonna say.
still enjoy
But this is what
watching Mo Salah
but this is what I was gonna say. You just mentioned Eden Hazard, right? But I was even gonna say Lionel Messi, but I felt like this me taking it way too far,
No,
right?
that's
But for me, you're talking about playmakers, people who like them.
If you say
enjoy.
Salah's not a playmaker,
No,
you're wrong.
he's not to me.
Hey,
Man.
how is he not a playmaker
Bro,
if he's got
listen.
55 goal involvements in the season?
Okay.
That is the definition of playmaking.
Can I shock you now, right? Do you know that when you look at Lamine Yamal, yeah, and you look at Mo Salah, both of them they play on the same wing, right? Both of them they produce assists. Both of them,
And Rodrigo.
one of them maybe
Vinicius.
scores more goals, right? But do you know that I would rather watch a Lamine Yamal than watch a Mo Salah?
But you can rather watch Lamine Yamal to Mo Salah, but that is in no way an argument to say that Mo Salah isn't a joy to watch.
No, for me it's not a joy to
When
watch.
he's
Like,
on the
no, this
ball,
is
the
me.
way he controls
He's
the
not-
ball, his
he's not-
skill on the
what
ball,
do
the
you
way he
mean?
takes on
What
players,
do
the
you
way he scores goals. Some of the goals he scored in the
Bro,
Premier League are some of the best goals of all time.
I'm not arguing the goals. I'm not arguing the goals.
No, I'm not just
telling
arguing
you-
the goals.
No,
I'm saying
but
the goals,
just-
the way he controls the
Nah,
ball, the way he runs with the
Boy,
ball, the way
what do
he
you mean?
takes on
What
players.
do you mean the way he controls the
No,
ball? Like,
he
bro,
runs
The
the-
way
if
he
you are
runs
playing
the ball, the
in,
way he
if you are
takes
playing,
on players.
if you're
Running
playing
with
in a
the ball.
club like a Liverpool, what
Alex.
do you mean the way he controls the ball, bro? Come
No,
on.
I'm saying the way that he controls. I'm not saying the way he controls the ball when he gets a pass, but the way that he controls the play, the way he takes on players, the way
Nah, come on, man. It's nothing. Nah.
effortlessly takes on some of the best defenders to ever have played in the game.
Now, listen, there's a reason why sometimes when you see players play after the game, you go on social media, you start seeing something that they've done on the pitch that's made people wow. Like, you start seeing one of all these little clips, like, this guy is not from this world or whatever. No, I don't get it with Mo Salah, right? Like you said,
Alex, how many times, and Clinton, let me, how many times has Mo Salah finished games for Liverpool Football Club? And you've seen his clips going viral.
That's what I just
Not
said.
for the goals he
Plenty
scored.
of times.
Not
So
for the
many
goals he
times.
scored.
That's what I just said.
Not
No.
for the goals he
So
scored.
many
Not for the
times.
goals he scored.
The goals where
Not
he's
for the
cut
goals
in
he
from the
scored.
right-hand side against Man
No,
City
no,
and put it in
no,
the
no,
top
no,
corner.
no.
Against Chelsea,
Bro,
you see it where he's cut inside and scored in the
When you
top
say,
corner.
when you say,
How
cuts in
can
the-
you
no,
not
hold on,
say
hold on.
Salah's
You
not a
just-
great
no,
player to watch?
Listen, what you just
How?
said now, hold on. What you just said now, right, is very funny because you just said it. He cuts on the left-hand corner and does what?
The way he cuts past
What do you-
defenders effortlessly and puts the ball in the top corner. How can you say he's not a joy to watch when
Bro,
he does
as
some
a
of those
winger,
goals?
what's expected from you though? Wait,
He
what does
doesn't
a
just
winger
go on
do?
the inside, he goes on the outside. He takes on players. He scores fantastic goals.
No, I mean that's you, Alex.
Some of the goals that he scored are some of the best goals that have ever been scored in the Premier League. He's one of the greatest Premier League
Alex,
players of all
Nobody's
time. He's a joy to watch.
He's literally the best Premier League player.
Alex,
now.
on the
We've just
ball,
said- no, Alex,
he's a joy to watch.
This is the problem because the way what I'm trying to explain or what Gary is trying to say, yeah.
No, I know what you're
might-
trying
no,
to
no, no,
say.
You
But
would
he's
not-
still
you
a
would
joy
not-
to
no, hold on,
watch.
hold on. But
How
you
can
would
you
now
not
think-
appreciate
no,
Mo
Alex,
Salah?
Alex, now you're
Yeah,
thinking,
Gary, we'll get to you in just 1 minute. I see the hand.
Now you're thinking that we are downplaying Mo Salah.
No, I'm
we
not.
are
I
downplaying
know you're
Mo
not
Salah.
saying that, but I just don't understand how you can't find a joy to watch.
No,
He's a wonder to
but
watch
he's
on the
not.
pitch.
You still have
There are some,
answer
no, but
those
listen,
things.
there are some, no, fact, listen, there are some women, yeah, that they are joy to you.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no,
Run,
let's
boy.
go.
Run,
Hold on.
now you
Hold
can.
on. Hold on, wait. But to
But
some
Mo
other man,
Mo
this
Salah
guy
is a
taking
joy
that
to
hell.
millions
For
of people
example,
around the world. You ask everyone in Egypt, you ask everyone who's a Liverpool fan, you ask quite a lot of Premier League fans. You go to Asia, you go to Africa,
Clinton
you go
still
to
hasn't
Europe,
answered
you
the
go to the
question.
States, you go to South America, Australia, Timbuktu,
Yes,
Indonesia.
yes.
There are millions of people around the world who will say Salah is a joy to watch.
Well, how do you know that though?
I
How
can
do you
tell
know
you
that?
for a fact.
What?
How can you tell
My
them-
man
how
is
can you-
scoring goals. My man is delivering assists. Why
But
would
how do you
nobody?
know they won't say that?
But how
can't
do you
say-
know? But how do you know
I
they are saying
know
that?
that
though?
for
No,
a fact.
you
You
don't.
can't say
No,
that
you
people don't think he's a joy to
No,
watch.
you don't. You don't know that, right?
I
I'm
do.
telling you, no. You think he's a joy to watch
Yes.
for you, but I am not gonna listen. I'm not turning on my TV to be like, wait, Mo Salah is playing football today. If Messi,
Yeah, but that's Messi. It's a different conversation.
Wait, let me finish. Man.
That's a completely different
hold on,
conversation.
Hold on. I would stay awake, yeah, if it was possible. Assuming I'm not intoxicated by anything, I'm not so tired, I would stay awake to see a playmaker play football. For example, in South America, or even, let's say, Lionel Messi. Yeah?
That's
I'm
Lionel
not
Messi.
gonna, no, but hang on,
Or
man.
Neymar, or like Neymar.
Or Neymar.
Like they say
Like,
Neymar.
these
Neymar
are
is
players.
playing it.
Listen,
You know what I'm
these
saying?
These are players that when they just don't play football, right? They give you the art of football. I've taken my time, and I gave you this info for free as well. Normally I should have charged you, right? But
I'm
I
not
told
saying-
you at some point that when it comes to football, yeah, there's a difference between just playing football and understanding the art.
Salah
of football.
understands the
No,
art.
man,
I'm not saying he's the best.
no.
There are players, Messi and Neymar, yes, they're more of a joy to watch, but Salah is still a joy to watch when he's playing.
Gary, sorry, you had your hand up. Let's come to you now.
I was going to say, look, like we've got Alan Shearer, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, right? Great scorers. So scorers of great goals and great goal scorers. Yeah, absolutely. But was Alan Shearer a joy to watch? Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, was he a joy to watch? Was Didier Drogba a joy to watch?
Yes. What's not joyful to watch about Didier Drogba? He's one of the best Premier League strikers of all time.
Well,
Nah, but
as compared to
Adel
Adel Taarabt.
with you. I think with
Adel
Alex,
Taarabt.
right? Alex just looks at the goals and the
I don't
assists
just
and
look at
feel-
the goals.
No, that is what it is to
No,
me,
I
man.
don't. I'm not
felt
just
it
looking at the
coming and then
goals.
you just-
No,
I'm not just looking at the goals or the assists. Didier Drogba as a player was a joy to watch.
For you, your definition of he's a fantastic player is somebody who could score 10
No,
penalties
it's
in
not-
a season.
no, it's
and for
not
you,
just that.
because of the stats,
No.
man, this guy is
I don't
fantastic.
just look at the
Why
goals.
man just shoots
No,
a
no,
ball?
no. Alex
I'm
said
not just
goals
looking in the
and
stats
assists.
column. I'm looking at the way they play the
What
way
do you
they
mean?
play the game.
Bro, listen,
the way
if-
that when you
the way
watch
they-
Didier Drogba on the pitch, you think, wow, it's Didier Drogba. Wow, that's Mo Salah. How great are those players?
I give you an example.
I'm not
Erling,
just
okay,
looking
hold
at
on.
the stats.
Erling Haaland. Let's talk about Erling Haaland. For your
Is he a
kind
joy
of,
to
from the
watch?
way you are talking now, yeah, I'm sure you'll be like, listen, Erling Haaland is a fantastic player. This
He
guy
is.
is a
He
joy
is,
to
but,
watch. What
but
do you mean, bro?
he is a fantastic player, but he's not a joy to watch.
So,
So there you go. I don't just look at the goals. I don't just look at the goals. Erling Haaland is a fantastic player. Again, one of the best Premier League strikers of the recent decade.
yeah.
He's not a joy to watch.
Nah, but
he's
I'll
a great
put-
player
I'll
in the
put
way that he
Salah there as
positions
well.
himself,
I'll
the
put
runs
Salah
that
there
he
as well.
plays. He's a fantastic.
He does
he's
his job as a striker.
He's an
He
intelligent
does
player.
a perfect job as a striker. That's it.
He's one of the best strikers in the world.
No, he's not.
He's-
As a last season or two, he
Yeah,
was the best
but
player in the world,
I'm
right?
not, I don't
But-
think he's a joy to watch. Mo Salah, Didier Drogba, on the other hand, I think are joys to watch.
No, I mean, we are still speaking about Mo Salah here, and in all honesty, I don't think it's a joy to watch.
Well, we'll have to
All right,
agree to
points
disagree.
well made. Sarah, you can have your show back.
I'm enjoying this, guys. Take the reins. All right, Shantelle, shall we come to you for some comments? It's been a hot minute.
No, there's so much. I don't even know where to start from. Okay, so we're going to do a quick run through because, like I was telling you, I was gathering them.
Take your time.
Okay. So from the very top. This is the Clinton.
Good.
Patricia says, stop downplaying our Caribbean friends,
knew she was gonna read that one.
especially Jamaica, and speak as Nigerian and don't involve Africans as a whole in your submissions, Clinton. Thank you so much for that, Patricia, because I do go through that a lot from him. So thank you. Okay. Sorry if I'm slaughtering the name. But,
I know the one that's about to support me now. You will not pronounce the name properly, but go on. I understand.
Agu Alma says, Clinton, you are too biased. You don't think before you talk. Go argue with Google. I'm sorry. Okay, there were a few agreeing with Clinton, so let me not be that person.
I mean, that was who you were last week, the whole of last week. But yeah, let's continue now. Let's go.
So somebody agreed with Clinton saying that El Clasico is the most watched, competitive, and best match in the world of football. We also had some score predictions for Barcelona versus Mallorca. Barcelona 5, Mallorca 0.
Ojalá.
Sorry, Guillaume.
And sorry, Guillaume. And also, when we touched on the topics of who should take over for Ancelotti. Okay, there were a few comments saying that Klopp should, but there are also persons saying that Xabi Alonso, they disagreed, saying that he cannot handle Real Madrid. Harrison Kyle says, kindly turn off Clinton's mic. I wish we could. Also, with the Mo Salah conversation, as you can imagine, my heart
It's pumping.
broken having to sit and hear Clinton destroy Mo Salah like that. Tell KlintonCod that Mo Salah is the best. Jallo says that there's no doubt that Salah is the best in the Premier League this season. Clinton, stop arguing this, but there were also persons who agreed that he is boring to watch. So it was about 50-50, I would say.
To be fair, I don't think you said boring. So they're putting words in your mouth.
Well, absolutely. Thank you. I mean, I never said boring. I just said it was just not a joy to watch. That's it. Siempre. No.
No. You just leave. You're ahead right now. Just stay right there. All right. Well, let's go back to Spurs losing to Nottingham Forest. How did we get here? Chris Wood. For the love of Chris Wood.
Oh, wait. Sorry, I have to stick the scene for Alex. The way Clinton perceives the game is different from Alex, which means Clinton requires a higher level of play to appreciate a player, I guess.
Maybe.
And Salah is a great player. Oh, I didn't see the end. If I did see the ending part, I would read it, but he's not sensational.
But read the next comment from Ambitious Prime.
Mo Salah is a joy to watch. Did you see his goal against City? And actually, the same against Watford.
Don't
If we're gonna do that,
Salah is a very tough guy, and you shouldn't be saying he is not a joy to watch.
So Kyle Lesnar says, for me, Mo Salah is a good player, but he's not enjoyable to watch. He's not there. By the way, I'm a Liverpool fan. We can pick and choose, Alex. We can pick and choose. You guys can pick and choose.
No.
I'm just saying. We're clearly seeing two sides here. Spurs and Nottingham Forest. Now Spurs losing that match means that they fall behind Manchester United in the Premier League table, guys. And so we now have a Premier League table consisting of Manchester United in 14th, Wolves in 15th, and Spurs in 16th. Never did we think we would see this day.
In what?
Sorry, what exactly? It doesn't make any sense right now. Spurs 1 point behind United, Gary here. I want to ask you, who is this? If let's say the season ended today, let's say this is how it ended. 14th Man United, 15th Wolves, 16th Spurs. Who is this worse for? Because I know Spurs are below United, but somehow with the immensity of the club that United is, and we've kind of seen Spurs struggle for so long, not this bad, but you know, that's 7th place, whatever spot kind of. Is this still worse for United, or do you think this is just as bad or even worse for Tottenham Hotspur?
Immeasurably, without a doubt. United is worse for them because of their pedigree, like you said, because of their pedigree, because of their size, their history. I mean, it is inconceivable. It should be inconceivable that United are 14th in any season in the Premier League. It should be. I mean, Spurs, you know.
All right, I forgot I was talking to an Arsenal fan. Whoopsies. That being said, though, Gary, who would be sacked first out of Ange Postecoglou and Ruben Amorim? It would be Ange because it would.
Ange.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Ange should have been sacked like 3 weeks ago.
First of all, the fact that. Sorry, Gary, for cutting you. I was just going to say that
go ahead.
Amorim has just joined the club.
He's new.
He's very new. Number two, everybody pretty much understands that he needs the time considering what he's done at Sporting. And number three, I think he's been hired to be the guy who would take Manchester United on that journey that Mikel Arteta took Arsenal on. You know, and this is...
Gary, did you hear that?
No, of course, absolutely. I mean, I know this is exactly what I believe would be happening with Amorim. You know, it's quite sad that, you know, he's done all his different experiments with Manchester United, and in all honesty, I don't think it's worked for him so far. How he's managed to work for him in the Europa League is still very shocking, and, you know, we did the analysis yesterday. Some of us felt like, you know, the Europa League, they've not lost any game and they are putting all their head in that basket, and, you know, they pretty much understand what's going on with the Premier League. There's nothing to fight for. There's no Champions League, no Europa, no conference, nothing. So at this point, I don't think they are looking at the Premier League as a priority. So right now, I pretty much understand that, you know, Amorim would be in Manchester United for a long time, because whether you like it or not, we've been changing some you know, coaches. I don't know how many times we've changed coaches in the last 2-3 years. But, or will I say 5 months, right? But I think it will come to a time where they will decide to say, hang on, maybe the more we continue changing these people, the more inconsistent the team is even becoming, because it's almost like they are confused. One person comes, he's changing. Now remember, Amorim is yet to bring in the people he wants as his players. So who knows, maybe in the next 2 seasons,
If United sack Ruben Amorim before the end of next season, that's delaying their next top 4 finish by another 2 years.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Alex, I want to ask you about Ange Postecoglou because I've spoken to some friends of mine who are Spurs fans, and there is this sentiment that even if Ange leaves, who would come in and how would that help Spurs? Because there have been so many coaches that have come in, and it seems to be the problem isn't the managers, it's Daniel Levy and the ownership there because they've been. I mean, when was the last time they won a trophy? The Audi Cup in 2004?
2008.
2008. Okay. I mean, so
Arsenal fans don't forget that. Like we keep tabs of 2008. We know that.
Listen, you're making a name right now for Arsenal fans. Gary, careful. Yeah. Alex, back to Ange though. A lot of them are saying, but what would Ange leaving do? Who would come in and help? Because for example, they've already had Conte, they've already had Jose Mourinho. Some managers right now that don't have a team. What do you say when you hear that?
To be honest, I think the problem lies on Daniel Levy mostly. I think when you look at the players that Spurs have got some great players in that squad. Heung-min Son, Kulusevski, Bentancur, Richarlison. They've signed Matthias Tell on loan from Bayern Munich. Pedro Porro, Coutinho Romero, Van de Ven, Jed Spence, Vicario. These are very solid players. Some of them outstanding with Kulusevski and Heung-min Son, I think, in that group. But when you look at the number of injuries that Spurs have had this season, yes, it was always going to be difficult for Ange. I think last season he did quite a good job, and I think even I said in the summer that I wouldn't be surprised if they finished in the top 6 or top 7 this season. I just think when you look at what Spurs have as a team since Harry Kane left, there's a big hole in there. Yes, Dominic Solanke is a good striker, but he's not going to get you 30 or 40 goals in a season. I don't think he's good enough to lead the line for Tottenham Hotspur, who have ambitions of finishing in the top 4. Let's not beat around the bush. They're a club that should be, with the infrastructure that they have and the money that they have and the stadium that they have.
They're technically still part of that big 6.
Yeah, they should be aiming for top 4 finishes every season. And it's the facilities that Tottenham have and the players that they could have at their disposal, it's a waste of an opportunity from Daniel Levy. Yes, I know they've just spent big on the new stadium, so money coming in, they're not going to be the richest club in the world, but they can at least afford to spend a little bit of money on players. Yes, we saw, I think, Arsenal go through the very same situation when they moved to the Emirates. They couldn't really splash the cash, but there are players out there that they can afford to get. And I just really don't think the way that Daniel Levy is running this club, or the way he's running this club, is paramount to, or it's going to produce trophies. It's going to produce top 4 winning or top 4 sides. I don't think it is. I think Ange, yes, I think he's got some stuff to take the blame for. I think there's some of the responsibility falls on him, and he'll know that. I think the way that they play is an exciting way to watch football, but when it doesn't work, there's no plan B. I think that's the big thing we've seen with Spurs. So they need a heavy amount of money invested in this squad. And if they're going to go forward, they have to be ambitious. They moved to that big stadium for a reason. They want to be one of the big teams in the world. They're hosting NFL concerts. The Spurs fans joke about this. It's become an enterprise, a business. They're not football first. Football teams are football first. Yes, it's great to host all these other events for money coming into the club, but at the end of the day, if you're not winning trophies, you're a failure as a club. If you're in that bracket of a Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, I think it's a combination. Like, not only are they not winning trophies, but they're not playing good football either. You know, we can't say at least they're,
Well, they can be exciting to watch. I think when you look at
at times, but they're either. I mean, and Gary, we talk about this all the time, but they're Spursy. They're either incredible and on their day scoring 3 or 4 goals, or they're absolutely shocking, discombobulated, completely disconnected from one another, and falling and losing as we saw yesterday. Do you see Spurs sacking Ange at the end of the season, Gary?
They probably should, but systemically, I believe is the word, from a system point of view, what is any other coach going to inherit, first of all? Not just in terms of the players, but in terms of the culture of the side. Is Daniel Levy going to change anything? Is he going to be given a war chest? It is a fact that Ange has been an incredibly unlucky coach this season because of injuries. It is a fact. And yet, on days when they've had anything close to a decent squad, they still have not felt as coherent as they should be. And that has happened too many times. And that's what people are angry about. You listened to his press conference yesterday, and he was, in his very annoyingly honest way. Like, it's good for managers to be honest, but the way he's honest is like, yeah, that's it. So what do you want me to do? Yeah, it is what it is. Like, So in his very annoyingly honest way, he simply just said nobody should be happy and nobody will be happy and nobody is happy with what's going on. And that's what I worry about, that if you fire the guy and you bring in this other person, what are you going to do for this other person? And I think that's the biggest issue at Spurs right now, so that's why. But I think that at this point, the dressing room is not something that is for him. Sorry, I'm not a fly on the wall, but it feels that way looking up from the outside. It doesn't feel like the guys are ready to lay it all on the pitch for him. They are not listening to him. Probably the word is not getting in. It feels like they need a new voice, Sarah.
All right, well, I guess we will see what happens with Tottenham Hotspur. But from the bottom of the table to the top, Man City taking on Aston Villa tonight at the Etihad. And here's how it looks at SportyBet right now. Man City, the favorites at home, 1.91 to Aston Villa's 3.93. Now, Clinton, we've kind of seen City take a little bit of a turn, unbeaten in their last 6. They're making that push for the top 5 now. They're in 5th, 1 point behind Newcastle. Meanwhile, Aston Villa coming off of that massive win to Newcastle over the weekend. This one, do you expect it to be a cagey affair? Do you expect it to be back and forth, or are you leaning towards one side?
Honestly, I'm not. It's very hard to lean one side on this one because, like you said, look at Manchester City. It's almost like they are big. Knowing that they are competing both in the Premier League and in the Champions League and they are playing to this high level, of course, maybe there are some moments where there's some kind of slip, parts where, especially in the Champions League, where we felt like, okay, what's going on? Especially when they've scored them a couple of goals and then today somehow they are scoring back, they're coming back, they're enjoying. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see Aston Villa winning Manchester City, it's actually weird saying this, but we need to start looking at Aston Villa as one of those highly rated top teams, not just in the Premier League, but we are speaking about in Europe. They are showing that capability. And when you see how weak Manchester, of course, Manchester City, they are coming back up, right? But they are still not on that position where you can easily say any team facing Manchester City, the probability of it going the Manchester City way is very high. At this point, it's almost like a 50-50 affair. It's not even a 50-50. I would even say it's more like a 60-40. 40 to Manchester City, 60 to Aston Villa. Sincerely, if I was to put a bet on this, I'm going Aston Villa way.
Alex Ashmore?
Tough. It's a tough one. I think when you look at the stats, they point in City's favour. Villa have won, I think, I want to say it's a staggering amount of games that they haven't won at the Etihad. I think it's something like 16 games. But they've obviously, I think they've won their last 2 against Man City, home and away. I think, like Clinton said, the way that City have started to pick up points and play towards the end of the season, they've come through that bad patch of form, and I wouldn't be. I have no doubt that they'll finish inside the top 5. I think Aston Villa are one of the teams that are pushing. I wouldn't be surprised if they are in and there or thereabouts. I just think the teams above them might be just a little bit better. I think it's going to be a cracking game. I think there's going to be goals.
Or who's better between Gerrard and what was the exact comment? Sorry, I actually don't know.
I think it was De Bruyne or Gerrard. I think that was the direct question. Who's the better midfielder in Premier League history?
Well, it got us thinking. Who is the best midfielder in Premier League history? And I feel, Gary, you're going to have some opinions.
What kind
on
of
this.
But hold on, though. Hold on. This is a very good question is asked because the funny thing I just thought about now you mentioned it, Sarah, right? If we want to go by Alex's logic, yeah? And when I said logic, he loves the goals, he loves the assist, and now in this kind of argument, hold on, wait. Alex.
My
In this kind of debate, right? I will hear Alex speaking about maybe things like trophies, right? And if you're mentioning the Premier League, one of them never won the Premier League.
But
right?
You say that I'm all about the goals and assists. In that classic Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard, who's the best midfielder in terms of technical ability, mine is not the one who scored the most goals.
Say that again.
You think I'm all about the goals and assists. That classic argument of Gerrard, Scholes, Lampard, who's the best, my pick isn't the one who scored the most goals.
Scholes.
You got it. I think the most technically gifted Premier League midfielder of all time
I would go with Scholes.
is Paul Scholes.
I would also go with Scholes.
But if you're asking me who would I want in my team...
Ooh, we've got the list. We got the list.
If I was going for a player that I want in my team, I would go for Steven Gerrard. I think the big thing for me is when I look at it, Jose Mourinho had Frank Lampard, but he tried to sign Steven Gerrard 3 times during his career. Inter Milan, Chelsea and Real Madrid. That says wonders about the players. Yes, I know that he could have tried to sign Paul Scholes. Paul Scholes was never going to leave Man United. Paul Scholes, for me, is the most technically gifted Premier League midfielder of all time. But if I was picking one to have in my team, to lead a team, we saw what Gerrard did with Liverpool in the Champions League, to be in that heart of the midfield, I would pick Steven Gerrard.
I think Gary.
Okay, sorry, go
I was just going to say. I think Gary does raise a good point, though. What kind of midfielder are we talking about here?
Sentiment.
Because
and in this list,
well,
we have
are we thinking about a more defensive midfielder, or more attacking midfielder?
Centre-mid. Just a classic centre-mid. Because if you look at those,
Yeah.
I know some of them on the list. Actually, I guess you look at Patrick Vieira. He's not a centre-mid. He's more of a defensive midfielder, and N'Golo Kante as well. I think when you look at Roy Keane as well, I think David Silva is more of an attacking midfielder. But if you look at Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard,
on the wing.
Giggs, as well, I wouldn't really call Giggs. I don't know whether he's the traditional sense of a centre midfielder.
Okay, so basically the list is useless.
I think Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard, De Bruyne, Essien, Yaya Toure, Cesc Fabregas are the ones on there that are the pure centre midfielders, I think.
Gary, what are your thoughts when you think about the best centre midfielder in the Premier League of all time?
In the Premier League.
Who comes to your mind immediately? Is there someone that immediately just pops up and then you have to be like, okay, well, there's him and then there's X, Y, and Z as well?
3.
Okay.
I'm not helping the arguments and the classic arguments. I think Stevie G, I think Frank Lampard, and I think Yaya Toure.
Sorry,
Stevie
wait,
G.
did he say Frank Lampard, Yaya Toure, and Steven Gerrard?
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
Paul
these
Scholes.
Yeah. Now, of those three, and again,
There's
I
4,
think everybody don't.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're 4. It has to be 4. Because when you mention Stevie G, Frank Lampard, I mean, Scholes has to be there. So let's say 4. And Yaya Toure. Now, in terms of the most complete of them all, I think I would go, and I know this
The hesitation is incredible right now.
Yeah, I would go Yaya Toure. Why?
Love that.
And this is not because he's from here. I think the power.
No. I like the fact that you have to clarify the fact that not because he's from where I come from.
Yeah, because he didn't say a thing about Michael Essien, and that is his boy. It's also our friend to the show, so we'll never say anything bad about Mr.
Yaya
Essien.
Toure, I think that even Yaya Toure, we can, when he was at the top of his game, we could extrapolate it to top 5 leagues. I don't think there was any human being in the top 5 leagues in a certain period. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Alex, Sara, Clinton, this 2009 to 2011, 12-ish, right? In that period. Or to 2014, when was he a beast for Man City? Yeah, within that period.
I mean, it was a little bit, it was, for me, the years I remember, probably just before
15,
Guardiola
16?
arrived, when it was, it was Manuel
14,
Pellegrini, Mancini,
Aguero.
those managers and that team
Company
they
was
had
just
with
baby.
David Silva.
I mean, because we're talking about the wide expanse of midfield. This dude could take the ball from defensive mid, which is where it begins, do a variety of things with the ball as a defensive mid, could either find somebody and start an attack, transition and move himself, or when he was he looked around and decided, you know what? All you guys don't know how to do it. I'm going to do it myself. Then he was going to do it himself. Right. So the closest maybe will be Paul Scholes, Stevie Gerrard, Frank Lampard, all in one. But Yaya Toure for me. Yaya Toure for me. I think that the combination of strength, skill, shooting, what else? Passing, the range that he had was not normal. I just think it was not normal. It was out of this world. He could head a ball better than Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard. He probably could shoot a meaner ball. Only Stevie G could probably shoot as consistently and as, varied that he could. And maybe Paul Scholes and maybe Frank Lampard. You know what? I think that's the end. I should stop now.
KlintonCod, let me come to you.
Are you going to ask me that same question?
Who is your best midfielder in the Premier League of all time? Gary gave 4.
No,
so.
you said it in right.
3.
If I want to go by, because I'll be very sincere here, right? I didn't really spend so much time watching Paul Scholes, right? However, with what I've seen and what I know of him, of course, he's up there.
Bruno Fernandes?
Right? Now, if I want to speak about the people I've watched day in, day out, at some point I would have said to you that, and this is going to sound so crazy and stupid, I would have said to you, take away this season.
I hear it.
Kevin De Bruyne would have been my guy.
I think Kevin De Bruyne will go down as one of the best Premier League midfielders of all time. He's going to go down as one of the best Premier League players of all time. I don't think that's ridiculous to say at all.
You don't understand how gutted I am to know that this is how his season in Manchester City ends. Because it doesn't really tell you how, when you finish in a very good note, especially knowing how wonderful and how great you've been for just not the club, but for the image of the Premier League, right? And then it ends this way. That, first of all, you had an injury, you came back, your team was at some point behind, it felt like Manchester City were probably not even going to play European football. There was all this stuff going on, and then there was this whole thing about him not being on that form that we knew him to be, and this becomes the end of the season for that club with him, right? That's how angry I am for the person that he has been for the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years.
You might still see him in the Premier League next season. I don't think he's ruled it out.
I hope not. Do you know what? I hope not. Actually, I was having this conversation the other day because he is linked right now to Chicago Fire, which, I mean... the way that I'm so upset about, it's just, Gary, it's one of those.
Chicago Fire fans, you also deserve good things, but no.
No, but sorry, not this. Not that good. For me, I see a player like Kevin De Bruyne still playing high-level football. Will it be for a team like... City, Liverpool, Barça, Real, Inter, maybe. Oh, you know what, though? Inter Milan.
Inter Milan.
Thank you, because I said it and immediately I was like, I'm possessed. No, I still see him playing at that kind of level. I think Kevin De Bruyne in the Serie A would be magical. Don't go to ML. He's still, in my opinion,
fit enough to still contest at this high level.
Exactly. Yeah. And okay, you could argue Inter is the best team in the Serie A right now, and maybe it's a little bit too much of a push, but there are teams like AC Milan needs an entire rebuild. What about him? Get him in that midfield. A team like even Napoli, following his Belgian brother, Dries Mertens. It's a storybook here.
That's
so
true.
for me...
Romelu Lukaku as well.
I mean, totally. I really see Kevin De Bruyne playing in the Serie A.
Is Atletico Madrid too physical for him?
Don't go.
I
Go to Inter. I'm set on it. Go to Inter.
No, but you know what, though? Thinking about it, though, I feel like Atleti needs a Kevin De Bruyne.
Kevin De Bruyne.
He doesn't need.
No, I'm saying Atleti needs him. He doesn't need him. He doesn't need Atleti. But the truth is, if I was running Atleti at this point, right?
Can you imagine how many goals Alvarez will score with this guy?
Oh my God,
dude!
Bro, are we going there?
That would be fantastic.
Oh
to
my
see.
God.
Yeah,
Kevin De Bruyne in the Spanish league with Atletico Madrid.
I know, playing, playing with Alvarez.
Like Alex,
Jesus.
seriously though, it brings a whole new dimension to their team this season, doesn't it?
Does.
Like,
I mean, that's the one thing
different
I think
flavour.
they're missing is
Yeah.
a good forward-thinking midfielder.
Absolutely.
Well, one of the
Absolutely.
things they're missing.
Absolutely.
That the only problem is that's what I was going to say. We spoke about this yesterday on Simeone's
I
future
don't
there
think
and
he goes
whatnot.
there when Simeone's there.
I'm not sure if that's going to work. Well, not that it wouldn't work, but I don't know if Kevin De Bruyne would want to go to a team where Simeone is an extreme manager. Okay, he's used to that with Pep Guardiola, but this is a different kind of extreme. And I also think with the decisions Simeone is still making, I don't know if that makes sense for Kevin De Bruyne to go there because he would help this club so much. But we've seen poor decision-making from Simeone this season. And I think, I don't know, I think it would not go well.
He was close in 2014, actually. He was very close to signing for Atleti.
Let me tell you the only reason why I feel like Kevin De Bruyne going to Atleti might not really be as rusty as what we think he might be. In as much as, of course, he needs Atleti. Atleti needs him. He does not need Atleti, right? Now, Atleti, they lack quite a few things in that team, right? Because have you noticed when you look at teams who are up there when it comes to Champions League football and, what they tend to, the caliber of players that they have in major positions. I'm talking about because for Atleti now, knowing that these are a European, or would I say world-class team that are not really giving us that level of play that we would expect from an Atleti.
You don't see them quite as like you see Inter, you think they're a big hitter.
Of course, absolutely.
Atleti.
But when you look at Atleti, you don't get that same vibe. You don't get that same feeling. And the only reason is because, of course, they've done well by bringing, an absolute, pure, fast, sweet striker in the person of Alvarez, right? But we're speaking about somebody in the midfield. Also, is there anybody in Atleti, which player in Atleti can you hit your chest and say can match the likes of the wingers of, say, the kind of Musala we spoke about, Lamine Yamal, Vinicius Jr.? I'm not even going to add Rodrigo in this kind of conversation. But who in Atleti can you decide to hit your chest and say, from going, even when you look at even their defense?
Right now, no one, but in 2 or 3 years, maybe even sooner, Giuliano Simeone. I see
A very huge
He's
potential in
getting
him, right? He has it in him, right?
But not right now.
Not right now.
No.
For Atleti to be the club that we can say they are going to go head-to-head with teams both in the Champions League, in the La Liga, and you are now speaking about major competitions.
They got to sign a left back.
Trust me.
They need a more diverse. If you look at their midfielders at the moment, Marcos Llorente, Conor Gallagher, Koke, Rodrigo de Paul. There are a few others along that list, all very...
To me. You've just mentioned mid players to me. I'm sorry to say.
Some good players in there, but they're all too similar in terms of the way they play, the style of play.
For me, they're actually...
mentality.
I know you want to be very polite, right? But in all honesty, right, all these guys, knowing that they are all these names you've mentioned, they're all in one team, right? There's no way you're going to get the output that you expect from a team like Atleti. When you're speaking about midfielders, when you look at the clubs that are up there right now, right? Every single one of them have like at least 4 or 5. I'm talking about world-class players. You don't see that with Atleti. And what do you expect? Of course, there are some kind of, I don't want to say magic, but there's some kind of situations, rare situations where you can see teams where they don't have that world-class level players, but their team play coming together. It's not now a one-man show. It's like a combination of a whole bunch of 11 players playing to a very good standard, including a goalkeeper, if that makes sense. Now, if you don't have, Atleti does not have that to me. Okay, look at let's look at Nottingham Forest. They are currently not that team, yeah. That we can decide to say you guys are now world class because, of course, they've done one of the best runs in the Premier League this season. But when you see how they play as a team, you cannot point one player in Nottingham Forest. I know you mentioned Chris Wood, but there's nobody who I can tell you that you've played to the point where we can classify you as a global world-class player.
Again, I think similar situation with Forest. Not now, but in a few years. And I think he's already very, very, very close to that. There's 2 of them for me. Morgan Gibbs-White and Anthony Elanga.
Anthony Elanga definitely is there. And the fact is, Chris Wood, he's a very, amazing striker.
I don't think
right?
he goes above the level he is at now. He's 33.
Yeah,
This is his peak.
No, absolutely, of course. Anthony Elanga is somebody I obviously miss from Manchester United. I wish he did stay. I mean, there are so many players that I would have. The only one player I feel so bad for that's left Manchester United and is just literally gone from frying pan to fire is Wan Bissaka.
Oh.
No, it's Bissaka, man. Bissaka left poor United to even a worse. Look at where West Ham is.
To brighten your week, you've heard the rumours of United potentially wanting to re-sign Anthony Elanga.
Really?
Poor guy.
Oh, actually, there was a rumor I also heard. There was this player that I was told he might be coming to my God, I can't remember. God. Anyways, we'll come back to that.
All right, Shantelle, let's check in with you because it's been a hot minute and we kind of covered a lot of ground with Premier League. So you always pick the juiciest ones.
I actually decided that I was going to be nice this time around.
Oh, so you knew you've not been nice all this while?
Oh,
no,
she
she said it wasn't me. She said I want to be nice now, meaning that all this while you've not been nice.
Let me not change my mind.
Let's go.
Well, you're lucky because the comments are already chosen.
Vamos.
So we still had a bit of debate on the Salah topic. Someone said if I could explain if a player is a joy to watch, is a player who dribbles, make fun of it, and they listed Messi, Ronaldinho, and Lamine Yamal. And in the middle of that debate, somebody mentioned that Anthony should move to Dortmund. Clinton, here are some nice comments for you, but before I get to the nice ones, Patricia, I think she's asking you this, so if I may ask, is Mbappe good to watch or is he just good at finishing?
Very good
Goals
question, actually.
win games. Also, Esther commented on Spurs, saying that they need to invest in the squad and stop signing a bunch of randoms. We also had some predictions, and many agreed with Clinton, saying that they think Aston Villa will win City. And on the debate of who is the greatest midfielder of all time, Kevin De Bruyne, Dream League says Kevin De Bruyne is better than all of the above, both technically and given and title winning. Scholes should be compared with the likes of Bruno Fernandes. I was seeing a lot of persons saying that De Bruyne basically tops Gerrard. So yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when you look at stats, though, when you look at how many games Kevin De Bruyne has featured in compared, and even when you think about the trophies, how many games, how many goals he assists, right? Let's assume he continued playing for to match the same amount of games that the likes of Steven Gerrard has had, right? I think Kevin De Bruyne tops all of them, based on stats now. But when I was speaking about Kevin De Bruyne, it was more of what he's done for the club, how good.
Does he give you joy?
I mean, honestly, Kevin De Bruyne gives me joy.
I know. All right. We do have some booking codes for you guys, as per usual. So let's start with Alex Ashmore, because I know you have to pull yours up, Clinton.
I don't even think I have a booking code.
I've gone for one for the Man City Aston Villa game. Gone for both teams to score. I've gone for Morgan Rogers to get one of those goals.
Hello.
I've gone for Ollie Watkins to have 2 or more shots, not on target, just shots. And finally, I've gone for Aston Villa to score in both halves.
Wow. Okay, 14.66. Gary, thoughts?
I like the shots one. That's a very smart one.
Is that it?
Not on target or.
I gave you 4, Gary. You liked one of them.
Yeah. Away team to score in both halves, very realistic. Morgan Rogers, first player goals, including overtime. In his recent form and what he's been doing, I don't think anybody's going to bet against that. So this bet builder gets a ding.
Ding, ding. Okay, well, let me see if I get a ding from Gary as well. I've gone for the Barcelona-Mallorca game, and I've gone for under 2.5. I know Mallorca is in a high-scoring team. I also think Barcelona might have some subs in this one. And at this point, this team just needs a standard 2-0 win, and that's what I think it might be. So I'm going for the under in this one. I'm going for a Barcelona win, nevertheless. And I've also picked a player to score in this one, Alex. Ferran Torres, because if it's not Lewandowski, you know Ferran is going to be starting. I know there's eyes on Rafinha, Dani Olmo, and Lamine Yamal is due. But I think if I'm trying to be strategic, it makes the most sense for El Tiburon. Gary, is it a ding or is it a...
Not a ding. No, definitely a ding. Ferran Torres' call may be the tricky one, I feel, because Flick, is he gonna or just gonna go full steam ahead? Like, what's he thinking? Is he
full steam ahead? Just full steam ahead, and then take 4 days before the final, and just pray that that's enough.
Yeah. So very realistic as well. I don't see anything that's off kilter or whatever they call it. Yeah.
Okay.
Clinton.
Clinton actually doesn't have that was my mistake. Clinton doesn't have a booking code today, but he'll come with the fire tomorrow. As
Yeah, no, absolutely. But Sarah, I was just looking at your one, looking at the odds, 9.59. For what you've done, I think it's pretty much a very smart one.
Thank you.
However, I see why you've gone for under 2.5 goals. You don't have the smoke, the guy that brings the smoke when it comes to the goals. Lewandowski is not there. We know how Ferran Torres in front of goal is not really the most reliable player for Barcelona. So I think that one is a very good one, in all honesty. And 9.5 odds though.
Not bad.
I wouldn't expect it to be that high.
Maybe you'll have a little sprinkle tonight when you watch the game.
Yeah, no.
Right at Sporty Bet.
Yep. Therefore.
All right, well, we do have some fun to be had now. We are doing a little quiz. Gary, we're going to need you to get a little whiteboard, get a little paper and pen, whatever you have available. I don't know if they've told you. But we're doing a quiz, and it's all up to Miss Shantelle.
Gary, during this quiz, raise your 2 hands and don't talk to anybody. You know the other time you were speaking to your son. Don't do it again. No. Telling him Google highest goal scorer in this league. Google that one. I thank God there was no internet that day. That's why you didn't win.
To make this fair.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I'm gonna...
No, Clinton will not be happy.
Sorry, what happened?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, you cannot be doing that, man.
Nothing,
You can't be doing that, man. Jesus Christ. You are...
Oh my God, they made us say it. That's cute. Aww. Fun.
Righty.
Make sure Gary is on camera. That's all I'm saying,
I want to see that man on camera at all times.
Gary,
full screen.
Gary,
full screen.
Gary,
I don't want any of us.
Gary, that door on your right, please, shut it.
There's no door.
Okay, good.
Let me get it. Give me a
He's
second,
got
I'll get
Kosi
there.
behind him writing the answer.
Yeah,
Mouthing the answer.
And you know Kosi, that Kosi guy looks like a fraudster. No, please. Right.
Okay, students, are we ready to begin?
What do you mean, students?
Wait. Is Gary, are you ready? Why am I feeling... Who's cheating today? So you guys know that when we've done quizzes before, my goodness, I've hosted, so now I get to participate. But there's always been discrepancies. There's always been something, someone, some people, the question.
Oh, see, Gary has disappeared. No, I know what he's going to do now. Hold on, let me tell you guys what Gary went to do. See, Gary now went to set up one equipment here that when she asks the question, Gary will now say the question out.
It's an Alexa or something.
No, and then the machine will now tell Gary the answer because you know one of those stuff now.
Yeah.
Who is the highest goal scorer? And I'll be like, who is the highest goal scorer?
The highest goal scorer is.
Is this sorry? What kind of quiz is it? Just like a general? Like, is this a?
Who has the questions?
It's Shantelle, Gary. Shantelle.
You'll find out when I ask the questions.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
So it could be about everything. And
Shantelle.
Okay, it's Premier League and La Liga.
Shantelle.
Easy. It's easy stuff, guys,
Shantelle,
don't
please.
worry.
There's nothing about Usain Bolt.
What?
Who's the fastest man in the world?
No, because I know. Somehow she wants to glorify Jamaica on this show. Please, this is La Liga. This
But
is
you just
Premier
know,
League.
you just gave me a good bonus question.
Okay, all right, let's go.
How many
Vamos.
seconds
Well,
did Usain Bolt
How many
maybe
seconds exactly?
Mason Greenwood.
Yes. No, I trust her. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, of course.
Please.
Okay. Let's do this.
How many goals does Mason Greenwood have for Jamaica?
Okay. We're ready for the first question.
We're ready.
Ready? Okay, which player holds the record for the most Premier League goals in a single season? A.
Oh, multiple choice?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes, go on. What do you mean? Oh, no. You had it. Oh, it's even on the screen.
Exactly.
Hey, this one is hard now.
30 seconds. Need the countdown clock. Oh.
TikTok.
Oh, do we have? Do I have a
Producer Ben? I feel like they should have like 5 seconds. To
Yeah,
answer.
Chantal. Sorry, this is
This
advice I'll give to you. You got to be the timer here.
This, as I would say, is an issue.
This is an issue.
Can you see my laptop?
No.
Okay.
It's
Why is everyone accusing me of cheating?
Okay.
Do we all reveal at the same time?
Yes.
I think that's the best way to do
Yeah.
it.
Wait. We're not saying. Oh, I told you Gary's Google. I told you guys this
Gary's
thing.
gone for
But I'm always on screen.
Stuff, man.
I'm always on
behind us.
screen. I'm literally behind you. Just look behind you.
Okay, there he is.
Oh, okay. Look at Gary there.
Okay.
Reveal the answers now.
Yes.
A. Holland.
Okay. Easy one.
Okay.
Can't see Gary's.
Gary. No, I don't want to. Sorry. What do you guys? We all want A?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It's hard to see. Gary. Wait. What did Gary do? I can't see.
B.
Gary did Google.
Ah, Gary.
Gary failed it.
Gary did Google.
Gary chose
Okay.
Mohamed Salah.
Chantal, are you keeping score?
Yeah.
Or maybe they are. I don't know.
What-
I mean, yeah,
Are we giving the answers
The
immediately?
answer is Haaland.
Okay.
Oh, they're not
All
updating it on our
They're
screen
not?
straight
Okay.
up.
There should be a 1 beside Sarah.
There should be.
I mean, there should be a one beside me too.
I can only speak for myself.
Well, all of us apart from Clinton, apart from Gary.
Apart from Gary.
Apart from Gary.
You see, you were gonna.
All right.
You guys hate me, man.
Now I've got a one.
Somebody
Clinton's
does
got a
not
one,
like
Sarah's
Sarah.
got a one. Okay.
Somebody does
So-
not like Sarah in the
But
back.
it feels like it's Alex that doesn't have one though.
We all know who the people's champ is at these quizzes.
Okay, we're moving on to the second question. How many goals did Frank Lampard score in all competition?
Yeah, that's a long day. That's a long. Guys, go ahead and pick any answer. Like, no one knows this.
Can I give everyone a clue?
No.
Okay.
It was
No,
in
why
the
would you do
artwork
that?
that just came.
So I'm feeling generous. I was going to say how many goals he scored.
Oh, is this one of the ones that Alex saw in the Sporty Create?
No.
Sorry, just so you know, Gary, Alex opened a group chat earlier and had a little preview.
Yep.
And now he's saying he knows how many goals. Frank Lampard.
No, because even if Alex wins this one, it does not count. He knows.
It does not count.
Okay, you have 5 seconds to lock in the answer.
I don't know.
So like we literally can
5,
choose.
4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, reveal.
Wait,
Clinton?
reveal. Okay, well, this is absolutely brilliant. We've all gone
Okay.
A, B, C.
Okay, so
Gary?
Sarah's B. What do you have? A.
Gary went B.
B.
Okay, so
B.
to the persons who selected B, you are indeed correct.
Gary?
Well,
Ooh, yes, my friend. Wait, sorry, Alex, what clue were you going to give us?
I was going to say how many goals he scored in the Premier League.
Oh my God, Alex is trying to take us out one by one. I thought you knew.
Okay, we're moving on. All
Right, so now I'm going to feel,
easy one.
guys, I'm going to feel it like this.
No,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
that you can,
Okay, that's fine. No, please do it like that.
Are you okay with that?
Okay, another easy one.
Right.
Question 3. Which club
so you say.
has won the most Premier League titles?
Easy one, man.
Easy.
Is this as of now or by the end of the season? What's the stipulation?
No, this season have not ended now. Alex, you're an English
Alex,
boy.
come
You understand
on.
English?
Oh, wait, you
Now?
said just Premier League.
Yeah,
Just Premier League. Okay.
there are the options: Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City.
Because if it was not,
Easy.
not Premier League, it was First Division, the answer.
Okay, 5 seconds. 5,
I love
4,
this season.
3, 2, 1.
do.
Reveal. Okay. Clinton, where are you?
Gary, I
Hold
can't
up.
see your answer, but I think, yeah.
Sarah, your full name is Sarita?
Oh, that's my nickname.
Oh, right. All right.
We learn more and more every day about one another, Gary.
Exactly.
We're moving on. So you
Good
guys
job.
had-
That was a team point. Proud of
Yeah.
everyone here.
Well done.
So I gave you guys an easy one, so you know naturally the other
Well,
one.
I mean, Frank Lampard's goal was not an easy one. That was
you get
No,
that right?
talking.
Yeah,
this
but I
one
guess.
with the Premier League titles.
Oh, okay, so that was the easy for the hard. Or
But
do you
no.
mean this one's
Do I
hard
get
now?
bonus point for saying how many titles United have won?
No.
Oh, can we?
Okay, Alex,
I'm that one, man.
So we know that Messi has the most assists in La Liga's history, right? So if you can tell me how many he has, then
No, but that's not the question on the screen, though.
That's not the question on the screen.
Wait, sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah,
She
because
gave
it's
us the
easy.
answer already.
No, it's easy.
No, wait.
So you have to tell me how many.
To be honest, I wouldn't have guessed in Lionel Messi.
Sorry. Okay,
Yes, you
well,
were.
that's a long
No,
day.
no,
but
no, no, no.
wait, why are we? Wait.
I don't understand this, man, because that's the question there for us.
All right, producers,
And I'm telling
what do you want
that
us
you
to
have
answer?
to give me how many he scored
Can
to
we-
get
can
it.
we-
Wait, I
because we're
know.
never
Wait,
gonna
goals or
get it.
assists? Goals or assists?
Assist.
We're
Ah,
not
see,
gonna,
that's
we're
where it
not
gets
gonna get
tricky.
it. Can we get it to
Ma-
whoever's nearest gets the point?
Okay, fine. Yeah. Whoever's
Which player has some Messi? Okay, so in
So why is
wait,
it
wait,
not a
a
multiple choice?
season,
In La
not a
Liga.
calendar year. In
La
a
Liga.
season.
No.
Oh my God.
See,
Straight.
Sorry, hold on.
Okay, sorry.
So you want us
okay.
to know Lionel Messi's assists in history?
Oh, the number of assists he's
In La
got
Liga's
across his
history.
whole career in La Liga.
Oh, in La Liga.
Okay, wait, one more. Sorry. So just all the assists he's ever had at Barcelona ever.
Just in the
Okay,
league.
Shantelle, sorry, I need you to pay attention because you've asked us 3 separate questions now. The assists he's had all time in La Liga.
Yes.
Okay, so okay. Are you there? Because I just got there. And we have. Oh my! I
So
don't,
is it one of these answers, or we have to supply?
no,
our own
Gary,
answer?
we're making it up apparently as
but,
we go.
But no,
How
no,
many
no,
assists
no, but hold
does
on,
Messi have
but
in
hold
his
on,
entire
but hold on,
time? Okay.
but hold on. The umpires, please. This could have been very easy. All you would have just written there is
Well,
how
I'll-
many assists does Lionel Messi have in the La Liga? This. Simple. Why are we having to go through this stress,
Because
man?
I felt like that was too easy. Like you look as if you know that it's Messi.
But how do you know we're gonna? He was gonna fail that one.
No, he wasn't. Alex is trying to throw you guys off. Try to guess a number close.
In the La Liga history.
No,
Wait,
I'm doing
wait,
math.
wait, wait,
Relax.
we are
I'm doing
calculating,
some
man.
math. I'm doing
So-
some math.
He got 800 in, then 800.
This is just in the league.
Yeah, that's in the league, obviously.
I'm about to guess something stupid.
I think
Okay.
I might have really shot low.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going absolutely ballistic right now. How? No! Don't change.
Change my
Oh
answer.
my God, this is hard, man.
Why is there a cert? You know what?
Okay, guys.
Hang on,
Time's
hang on,
up.
hang on,
Time's
hang on,
up.
hang on.
Time's up.
Hands
No,
up,
it's
hands
really
up,
not.
Hands down.
Right,
hands
okay, I've got
down,
my answer.
Hands down.
Can we have the reveal?
I don't want.
Gary, I think you and I have gone for the same answer.
Oh wow!
I've lost my whole mind. Wait, but so
My
did
God.
Clinton. No, I'm.
150. We could
150.
have either completely undershot this, to be honest.
Does Gary have the same one?
He has the same
Okay,
answer.
yeah.
Gary, what's
Point
yours?
for Sarah, not Sarah, Alex and Gary. It's 193.
193.
That's crazy.
Okay,
Wow.
we're moving on.
Great minds think alike, Gary.
No, but
Thank
this
you,
question
Alex.
should not be among. I think this question was.
What is the
Are we
next
ready?
question?
Who won the La Liga in the 1999-2000 season? Is it A, Real Madrid, B, Valencia, C, D? Easy. Sorry, you should get this one.
2000.
I can tell you who didn't win it
2000.
that season. I can tell you who
Oh
didn't.
my God, I was myself.
I can't tell you who didn't win it either, but I cannot tell you who won it.
Can you tell me who did?
Can you guys not discuss this? This is a quiz in front of the quiz master. How
You know,
rude.
if you were a teacher in Nigeria, they would have sacked you. Like, bruh, you would have been beating children. Oh. The violence.
5 seconds. 5, 4,
Nah,
3,
No idea.
2, 1. Reveal the answers, please.
Oh my God.
Oh, I saw 315.
What's Gary?
Lucas is yelling at me from upstairs.
Okay.
Jesus, I did.
Was
wait,
that
wait.
the Diego Tristan group?
What?
Alex?
What did you say, sorry?
Diego Tristan's group.
How's Alex in the lead?
Alex was not born at this time, you know. Sure, you hope you
I
know that.
was.
Were you?
Okay, guys.
Was,
we have to
that was
keep
when you were
it
just
moving.
born.
A month
Anyway,
after.
anyway.
A month after this season, that's when you were born. yeah.
I'm not sure the answer to that question, Gary, because as Clinton just said, I was not.
Okay, we
He
have,
was born a month after.
we have an easy one coming up, a very easy one.
Okay.
This is a chance, Clinton, to catch up.
Whoa.
And you know anyone?
Who is the youngest player to ever score in La Liga? Easy. Is it A, Lamine Yamal, B, Luka, C, Olinga, D, Brian? What's the answer? 5 seconds.
Brian,
5,
that's bringing back.
4, 3, 2, 1. Reveal.
Yeah.
Why is it 3:50? Oh.
Hey.
Do you have your eraser?
Wrong. Gary, what do you have?
Wait, what did you just say wrong?
Lamine Yamal's the youngest player to score in La
No.
Liga.
Luca Romero? He was 15 and a couple days.
No, I actually don't think that's true.
No. The producer checked it, so it is true.
Ben, are we super sure about that?
Yes,
Because I'm
we
pretty
are.
sure you said
We are protesting. Protesting.
Sorry, who got that one right though?
No one.
No one.
Oh, thank God. Okay,
Luka
Nobody.
Romero,
I'm happy
AC
then.
Milan reject. Wait,
How many? Wait. How many
I'm
questions
not
do we
sure
have in
about
all?
this. We're gonna have to look at. There's been
How many questions do we have in all?
Sorry?
How many questions are there?
Chantel, how many questions do we have in all?
Okay, so we have 2 more.
2 more. Okay.
Well,
We have only 2
one.
more.
No, we have 1 and a bonus question. The person who gets the bonus question right wins the whole thing.
Okay.
It doesn't
So I'll
matter
just
who was
answer the
leaving.
last one.
Oh, really?
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Ah, you didn't tell me now.
I'm joking.
Why was I killing myself trying to be right?
You just get 5 points. That's all.
Okay.
5 points.
So you're
So 5 point me.
on 7.
So you need it.
So that's like a wild card question.
You actually
In fact, see, this next question I'm going to fill it purposely. I want to get that bonus.
You're not getting the bonus question though. Anyway,
The problem is you have to get the bonus. and no
Anthony,
one else.
let's focus. Anthony scored again in La Liga. How many goal contribution does he now have in all comp?
Oh my God, what kind of question is all this one?
in all comps.
In all
Is
competitions.
it Anthony Elanga or is it Anthony Joshua? Which Anthony are you speaking about
The
now?
only one that's playing in La Liga. Anthony
that's
Elanga's playing for Forest in the Premier League. Anthony Joshua's getting knocked
Well,
out.
in all competitions.
Whoever.
That's true.
5 seconds.
Wait, no. You just asked the question.
Come on, think fast.
Come on, wait, let me read it properly. Anthony scored again in the La Liga. You know, back in Africa, this is how we have to do it, man. You have to read it 5 times. Wait, Anthony scored again
Do you
in
know
La
how
Liga.
to read?
See, you know you are distracting me right now. See, 5 seconds starts again. Wait. Anthony scored again in La Liga. How many goal contributions does he now have in all competitions? Hi.
Clinton, 4 seconds.
Wait now. See, you are distracting. The answer was coming just
3,
now.
Come on.
2.
Oh, I think I might be wrong.
I think I might be wrong.
Okay, guys, let's just get through this. I know that the show is going to end soon.
What's the
I don't
bonus
have my
answer?
watch on.
Gary's gone for A, I think.
I'm not going to change mine.
Gone for
Nope.
A? Okay. Y'all are wrong.
Nope,
Oh, no.
nope.
Wait, I wrote
No.
D.
I wrote C.
D.
Wrong.
I went for D. I went for
What,
D.
what's that? What? Let's
Seven.
I got it.
Oh, no, you guys.
I got it.
Wait, stop, wait. I
Still
actually
got it.
also want to fact check that because I brought up Anthony's goal contributions today, at least in La Liga, and they were 5. So that means he has 4, either assists or goals, somewhere else.
Okay, we'll
And
come
so-
back. We'll come
so
back to that one.
that's
No, that
true
question
now.
is rude. No, Sarah, that was true because I checked it as well. I checked it and I knew that they
Okay.
were wrong on that one. No.
Okay.
That one is
okay.
cancelled.
Okay, this is an easy one. Everybody is
Aye,
able to redeem
aye.
themselves.
When I get the answer correct, you guys say the question is wrong. Yo.
Gary,
No,
if you're
no,
a guest,
no.
get out. No, I just want to make sure we're fact checking because I actually brought up Anthony's goal contribution coincidentally.
Okay.
No, funny
Easy,
enough, I
easy
did.
one. Last one. Bonus question.
bonus
5
question.
points.
Dum.
Who wears the number 16 jersey for Real
how will I
Madrid
know this one?
basketball?
How the hell did
We
I
introduced
know?
basketball
Gary,
to the
the
show.
question is, you know what? I'm not going to say it.
Who wears
Just
number
pick.
16? No, don't-
No, I'm telling him to
Come
just pick
on.
one.
So the answer is E. Ibaka, Tavares, C. Usman Garuba, D. Sergio Lul. It's easy, guys. Come on.
What do you mean easy?
Is it?
Just guess.
I don't watch Real Madrid basketball.
No.
Aw,
no.
geez, that's poor behavior. We just had our boss come and give Clinton the answer.
No, I didn't even look at anything.
Oh, see,
Okay,
and
5
there's always
seconds.
someone who ruins the quiz here.
5 seconds.
Whether it's you or now
5,
him. I don't care. I don't know. That's who I'm writing.
3,
I'm doubting myself.
2.
I have no idea who these guys are.
Gary,
no
you don't
idea
need
who they
to.
are.
You really don't.
I don't even know.
What did you write?
Having basketball on the show if you guys don't care. Okay, wrong.
What did you write?
Wrong. Gary?
Never heard his name.
Gary,
Congratulations, Gary. What's our time?
I know the funny thing. The last competition, Gary didn't get any. You know, he lost. He was,
No, didn't Gary win the last time?
No,
Gary
he didn't win
always
the last
wins
one.
the
No,
race.
Gary, you didn't. No, he didn't win the last one. That's what I'm saying. He was the least in the last one.
only the first one.
Huh?
The first one was the one I won. The very
Yeah,
first
but
one.
the second one, you were the last.
Let's bring it back. The youngest goal scorer ever in La Liga, Lamine Yamal. All right, thank you. Sorry, let's fact check next time to our producer.
So that automatic, because I went with Lamine Yamal, I chose Lamine Yamal, meaning that this competition is null and void.
Update the scores. So I got a 10. Update the scores.
To be fair, there were a couple
It's
cues.
not about what I would have won. Gary,
Can you declare me the winner?
Gary, your winning is
Gary, well,
null
I'll
and
give you
void.
the win. I'll give you the win.
No.
Sorry.
There was a lot of irregularities in this competition.
No,
and
but
so
even
therefore,
you sound
Gary
like
should
Enoch.
subtract the one he's still
Clinton.
at 8.
it's not about subtracting.
He's
No,
still win.
you guys don't understand the psychological effect of getting, because what happened is the moment they got the question wrong, every other answers start messing with our head. So there's no way.
Guys, give me a shot of my paper now.
Congrats on your win, Gary.
No, give me a shot of my paper.
No,
That's my trophy.
I'm not. We are taking this
That's
one
my
to court.
trophy.
Gary,
We are
That's my trophy.
Gary, we are taking this competition to court. INEC of Nigeria, they will be the one to judge this case, man.
There we go, Gary.
I do like the drawings from Gary.
No. This is
that's
unfair.
the benefit of having a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old at home. You learn these
What, they
things.
show you how to draw something like that?
Does
Yeah,
your kids do the same thing?
Huh?
Do your kids do the same thing?
Actually, they're very artistic. Yeah.
Okay.
Artistic, not autistic.
I mean, you have to help them draw all kinds of nonsense in their homework.
No, I mean, I don't know what you heard. That's why I have to repeat it again, man. I mean, because the way you looked, I felt like you said some stuff. No, but yeah, I mean, generally, they're all good with their drawing. And
Congratulations, Gary.
why are you telling Gary congratulations, man?
Because he
I
won.
can't
He didn't
be
win
bothered.
anything. He didn't win anything. No.
Let me tell you why. Because it's not Gary's fault that the quiz was wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
So
the
I'll
person,
give Gary
the person who made it wrong, should declare it null and void.
No.
Even if you'd have got the answer right, you still came last.
It's not about that.
Exactly.
That's
Thank
what I'm
you,
saying.
Alex.
Yeah, Alex, that's what I'm saying.
God.
You guys don't understand how these things work. The moment she got that one wrong, at that point I was not paying attention anymore because I felt like every
So you say you can't perform under pressure.
Well,
So hold on.
I can, but not in this particular kind of situation, man.
All right, well,
So,
Shantelle,
Clinton.
do you want to check in on some of the comments over socials after the quiz? Because
Sure. There are many.
I feel like there would be.
Dan Baiwa says, Ghana win always. Clinton, you're last.
I knew that was coming. Come on,
Someone,
give it to
Ezra says,
Clinton.
a quiz. I know Clinton is losing.
Damn.
Wow.
Osman, you seem to have let him down, Alex. Alex is going to win this one. But Gary was the winner. Congrats again. But yeah, those are the questions, the reactions to the quiz.
Whatever, guys.
There we go.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Gary won.
At the end of the day,
but
it's
the rest
nice.
of them
We
lost.
move on.
So
I don't know what's more disrespectful, though. Here, there was a poll, sorry, Shantelle, on YouTube, Gary, and take this as you may, but when they asked who's going to win, Alex and I were tied both with 33%, and you and Clinton were tied with 16% each.
No worries. Underdog, ahoy! Come on, man.
All right, Gary, do you quickly want to... We jumped over the Arsenal PSG chat that we were going to have. Let's quickly touch on it. We have about 5 minutes left, but
Hold on. Let me give my press conference, ask me a question. How do I feel
Gary
after winning the
look
quiz?
at this winning, man. That was very annoying.
Come on.
If it was Sara that won this, it would have
Come on,
moved
give
on.
me.
Ah.
Sarah,
Sorry.
give me
Next
the
time.
questions.
But next time they'll also ask questions with the right answers. Next time.
Yeah, next time.
Okay, Gary, PSG's playing Nantes tonight, and we saw
No, my press
them
conference
play...
for winning the quiz.
Oh,
That's important.
okay.
Yeah.
Gary, big win today, obviously, with that quiz. You know, you came back from behind, and then you ended up winning like we saw Barça did with Celta over the weekend. How does it really feel?
You know, at the moment, it's not just about me, it's about the team. All I want is for the team to win.
Jesus Christ, I can't believe we are doing
So this win
man.
is not for me. This win is not for me. It's for the whole Sporty team, you know. And in the context of this season, you know, it's a very important win. We are going to take it game after game. And I dedicate this to Clinton, my brother.
Wow. You know, Gary, there were some doubters. Some of the fans here didn't think you had it in you. What do you have to say to them now?
Sara is playing through too.
You know, for me, anytime I come into these games is to prove
Why
people
Ghana
wrong.
is better than Nigeria?
We'll get there.
You know, and to let people know that, you know, I'm as good as...
They lose our questions as well, though. I need to do my own press conference as to why I lost. No,
Losers press conference?
What wrong for you?
That's the time. That's the time. Come on, Sara, you've asked the winner.
Okay, all right. Sorry, Gary. All right, congratulations, Gary. Now, unfortunately, Clinton today didn't go your
Arsenal,
way.
PSG.
So,
Wait. Are you not?
Now,
Gary, the way
look,
you
about
just
Arsenal,
glazed over
PSG.
No, okay, you see now, you guys don't want to you don't want to give my own press conference.
I mean, who
I was
wants
trying
to
to.
hear
I
the
was
losers
trying to,
press
and-
conference?
Alex, ask me your question, man. These guys are not serious.
Clinton, a difficult loss for you today. That's another finish in 4th place in the quiz. How do you feel after that disappointing performance?
Now, honestly, I think sometimes the refereeing in this kind of games, you know, they need to call them to order, man, because the truth is, you know, this thing keeps repeating itself. You know, you can clearly see that there were issues with the questions. You know, sometimes they put questions on the screen that they are not even asking. Like, how do you, they always have a way of telling with our emotions, and that kind of like destabilized us and my team, and now they've given Ghana the win. But you know what we do with our team,
They've given Ghana the win.
We would always rise up, and one thing about us is Nigerians will never carry last. You know, we would always bounce back.
Do you think that having this sort of controversy brings into it brings the legend of this sporty quiz into disrepute and it affects the image worldwide?
No. Of course, absolutely not. Because the truth is, now it's beginning to lose the credibility of what we used to know it for. You know, especially when they keep changing the umpires as well. Like you're bringing in a Jamaican umpire. Like, what do you expect? You don't know what they've smoked, and they've come here to come and like start. I mean, look at what happened with one of the questions. Though, like they put up the
That's
question.
such a slur. Did you just use a stereotype?
No. I
Yes.
Wait, did she just come into my press conference?
Yes.
Like, wait.
Yes. Yes.
No, wait, what's going on here? No, wait. What's wait, no, hold on. What just happened? Like, are you this, I'm in the middle of a press conference.
Do you remember when Messi?
But
do you remember when Messi, the World Cup, and he said something, Bobo,
Give
hey,
me the
Bobo, hey,
bobo.
Bobo,
Give
hey,
me the
Bobo.
bobo. Anda pasada. That's what you can say next time.
No, but nah, we would always live to fight again, and you know we'll bring the game on.
Come on, Clinton.
I mean, we're going to come back for it, man. You know, it's Ghana. It's calm.
All right. Well done, Clinton. Congratulations, Gary. That is it for us today. More Sporty Show tomorrow. Real Madrid are in action. There's the Coppa Italia between Inter and Milan. All the Serie A matches from yesterday will be tomorrow as well. Premier League action, so there's a lot to get into. But we hope that you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be back again tomorrow. Same time, same place. So until then, enjoy the football.
Whoever did those questions.